Here we go, we're all here. It's a Check it out. Wow, you're clapping. That's so nice. Yay, we're clapping. Yay, what the fuck? Can anybody hear us? We have brand new mics. Can you hear us?
Kindergarten class that if you start clapping and we all just instinctively are yeah.
Why are you touching your face? What's happening?
Because I'm happy, Sean.
Oh,
so judgmental. I might need
caffeine for this. I can hear you. Okay, thank you, Elove.
Yes, you will. You absolutely will.
You can also have booze. Some people need caffeine. Some people need water.
I won't tell you what this is.
It's water.
It's none of your business.
Oh, it's leaking.
Ooh, what do you mean clapping on time for me to start? I always start on time. What are you talking about?
How
The fuck?
How drunk is Kim? God
Always.
Hi, love.
I love that Sean's trying to do a sound check.
I was trying to do a sound check. I'm just yelling
Can you
shit.
hear us?
That sound check is
No, somebody said
everyone
yeah.
yells.
They said yeah.
Somebody said yeah. We're
They
good.
said yeah. It's fine. One person said yeah, so that's fine.
There's some
The rest of them,
mix
whatever. It doesn't matter.
of all of us. Yeah, we are in the same room, Elove.
Yes.
We are.
Yes, we are.
It's true.
Yes, those two are right there. No, you're not. Look at the screen. You're not. What are you doing?
What
are you doing? Yeah, you're not. I don't understand. I built an ass. Try to no, stop that. Get out of there. No, now you look like an idiot.
How dare you do this hands-free?
Wait, though. I do have one set of hands.
Oh, good.
Of course,
There you go.
obviously.
We do need that still.
It's necessary.
Yeah. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Illusion. Hi, Bill. Welcome to see you. That was not for me. It wasn't for you,
No.
Jenny. Not this time.
They just like to pretend they aren't. Joe, never.
I do call it Jenny's button, though.
Listen, the vendetta that you and Jenny have
Jenny's
is...
button.
Oh, okay.
Was it last time we did this that everyone was like, how long have Jenny and Sean been fighting?
Yes, yeah.
And we were
Oh,
like...
they really hate each other. We can't.
They wanted to know the origin story.
We're like, none of us know.
The origin
Don't know.
story.
Sometimes you
eight.
put two...
For me, the only origin story is that Jenny's dumb. That's all.
I think it's also just a vibe that Sean gives out in that, I mean, I've only personally roasted for real like three people and Sean is one of them. So
and everyone loved it, and we should have saved that as a very expensive charity redeem because we could have solved some real problems if we were like, I'll talks so mean.
So much
To
smack
Sean.
about Sean.
Snack. Because you were talking snack. Jenny and Sean have been
really
fighting
good.
since the start of times.
Yeah. Start of
So,
time.
facts.
Speaking of time.
Facts.
Well, I'm glad they can hear us. We got new mics, folks. We're everybody's
You have new mics.
We're all wireless. Yeah, you
Whole
got
new
old.
setup.
Danny
got
had
new
to show me how to
setups.
use it.
Did they have to show you how to use it?
Yeah. She was like,
Make
don't
up
worry.
Brenda.
I just came from
it's all
Blues
right.
Fest.
Yeah. I was on the main stage.
Oh my
I have a
goodness.
microphone here. Stay and sleep.
I told Danny about seeing her name on the poster when we were walking and just
Yeah.
going, and
Mid-step, she just stopped and wordless. And
you
worked
understood.
because I immediately
Yeah.
looked, and the only thing I saw was your name on the
It
poster.
was perfect.
It was magic.
It's because
was
I went around to all the
exciting.
posters. I made them. I
just
put
highlighted
like some
slightly.
glitter just on
We
my
made
name.
some sticker tape,
Sparkly
like
3D
washi
arted it.
tape.
It's actually felt. If you touched it.
That's not something that we do. Like putting googly eyes in places
yes.
they have no business being. I don't. That
I'm
seems
sorry.
fine.
Are you saying that there are places
I
googly
knew-
eyes don't have
I'm
business?
glad
Yeah, I mean,
that
I'm,
you-
I'm also
Googly eyes
questioning
have
the second
business
part of that
everywhere.
Yes.
sentence.
You're right.
Yeah.
On a
right.
casket.
You're right.
Hey, do not belong on a
Okay,
casket.
listen.
Sticking her.
This
For
whole
my
stream
funeral.
escalated so quickly.
Wait.
Yeah, when has it ever got?
I would like googly eyes
Why are
on
you
my
able to do
casket.
that? Stop that.
Brenda, wait,
Now you just look like an idiot.
Why are you able to do that?
quit that.
That shouldn't have made sense.
I'm having a lovely
How
time.
is that a thing?
I
don't
love
know.
creator check-in. I
No, that
love.
doesn't work for me. Brenda's
Me too.
magical.
That's
I'm really good at
Oh,
puppetry.
Mindy Mace.
It's all my
Mindy Mason.
experience having stuffed
Oh, it's
animals
'cause your
take over my
fingers on that camera. That's why.
Mindy, hi Mindy. Oh, very funny. No, you're gonna act right when you're in here. Behave yourself.
No trains
Mindy,
here.
this is an
I don't give a shit about
important,
trains here.
reasonable. Mindy, you literally have sweet
Ginger
innocence in your name.
Ginger
I'm
lines.
sweet
And Danny.
And
The
Danny.
butts you are, Mindy. The butts you are.
Yeah, no train.
I
but
was
you
a
can
ginger
cuss.
once. That counts.
You what?
Go wait a moment. It looks like Brenda was
You were a
sticking her
ginger
finger in
once?
Sean's nose.
Once.
Oh, yeah.
One
Really?
time.
I didn't. Where's the
In my
one on that?
chameleon era.
Oh, I
In your
did know
chameleon
that.
era.
I liked that.
I met
that.
you during your chameleon era.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been friends a long
Wasn't
time.
that-
All these folks in the room.
I am the most recent addition to
That's
this
true.
room of people by
That's
like
true.
a chunk of years.
By many, many years. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't live in Ottawa or Ottawa.
You lived in
area.
Ottawa when we all knew each other.
But I'm saying
You just weren't in the
Yeah,
circle.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Now you're in the square.
Let's clarify that.
Now you're in the
I
square.
mean, maybe. I don't know. I did. Maybe I'm still on
Wow.
probation.
You were a busy business lady. You were a business
I was in
lady.
grad school.
None of us give
Like
shit
a
about business
sucker.
people. Did
Nor
you ever? Were you a
should
business
you.
busy person?
Nor should
business
you.
Yeah. Did you ever have like a real job?
Ouch.
Oh.
What do you mean,
debatable
ouch?
to this day.
It's not ouch.
We had.
You're a
remember-
professor now.
Yeah.
That's the most real job
Well,
out of all of us,
football.
I think.
Yeah.
Probably.
But what was your like
Real jobby.
entrance into workplace? I don't know if
When
I know this.
I graduated, I started teaching right away.
Right,
But
yeah.
I did manage comms for a not-for-profit
Mm.
that I got to see again really recently, and they're doing great, called Synapsity.
Oh, Synapsity. They're
I love
wonderful.
them. Yeah.
Oh, they're wonderful.
So when
I
they
didn't know
started
that.
trying to
They're
move
great.
their in-person program, which was just like, let's be super hippies and make everybody involved in the community, and we're gonna give everybody the tools they need to get participating in Ottawa, and it was awesome. Because obviously super hippie, but they wanted all of their in-person curriculum put online, so that was one of my first jobs.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's a teacher. That's
Yeah.
once again.
That's more interesting than just not that
Franco
being a
wanted
teacher
to know
isn't
what a
interesting.
real job is.
Yeah. So it's like
I don't know. I never had one.
Not the room to pull,
I had a real job.
Franco.
real job.
I just,
Not the
well,
room to
a real
pull.
job to me is something that you don't make up yourself. Like I made up my job.
You did make up your job.
You've kind of made up your own.
I fucking constantly make up
had-
my own everything.
Kim
yeah.
had
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, we have
just
to clock
tried
in and out.
every
That's
single
true.
job, and then
Yeah.
and then after that,
Yeah.
When
I think
people are
that's it,
like,
Jenny.
I'm like afraid of
Clocking it
change
out.
and afraid of doing new things. No, that's not me. I'm always like, all right, let's try something new.
Recently had a
fuck it.
conversation. Was like, you don't have to salt the earth every time. There's a line you were like, yeah, I guess.
Oh yeah, good
Okay,
point.
whatever, boring.
How many times have you sold all your things and moved and quit your job? Is it more than one hand of fingers? It is.
Then you're not a real person.
Jenny, burn it down.
Burn it
Imaginary.
down. Yeah, you're imaginary. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Where you have to clock in and clock out.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that the
that to
definition
me
of real
was
job?
Yeah.
like real job.
And that's
Someone
when
else
I say
knows where
like
you
clock
are.
in and clock out. I don't know if any of
Yeah.
my I've worked lots and lots of jobs,
Right.
but the last time I had to clock in and clock out was a grocery store. So
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
like you did put the time in. It's like down to the minute.
Yes.
Oh, you want
I
50,
can find-
you have to go to the bathroom. You better
Time
clock
sheet.
out.
They round up or down every 15 minutes. You're like, this is bullshit.
I can feel that in my entire body. The idea of like
Yeah.
time cards or like
Yeah.
some kind of like cubes on a piece of paper that you're writing
Yeah.
tiny.
I
Whatever.
worked as a receptionist
Ooh,
for a
ooh.
little while in an auto body shop, like, you know, where they fix dents and paint
Of course you
cars.
did. Why wouldn't you? And then you were the head mechanic.
Yeah, before fleeing to
Yeah,
the woods.
that's how you
to
got your
briefly
shoulders,
do
okay?
a
Wow,
stint
what an
as a
origin story.
lumberjack.
I lifted a lot of tires.
Then I ran away with the circus. Did some acrobatics.
That was the briefest job. The
Did you have to
acrobatics.
fill? Did you have to fill out timesheets? for
Yeah,
people?
so the people would write their timesheets, but they were like little sticker things. So they would write down their time and they would peel it and they would stick it on a piece of paper, and I would have to go
So
get the piece of paper and put it in the actual computer, and then they
course.
could get paid.
Of course, there was like an extra, like another. It's
Can
not.
I tell you how good I was at this job? I
course you
was
were good at
so good at
course
this
you were good
job.
at
You're going to anyway. So
Yeah.
Seems
what do you
seems
mean, can
legit.
Can I? I'm trying to be polite.
Yeah,
for a
okay.
change.
Great.
It's time for us to pay homage to Kim.
I was so good at this
The
job
first hour.
that they would have to
Yeah.
page me to come back to my desk because I was roaming around the car dealership.
That's really funny.
Dreaming about what
Like
car
a
you probably
stray
could buy, maybe.
cat.
I was friends with
That's
everybody.
You were
I was
the
like
receptionist.
hanging out with mechanics.
You
I
were
was
the
over in
receptionist?
I love
sales. Well, yeah.
And they were
for
like,
the body
Kim,
shop.
can you
Can
please
you be at the
come
reception?
back? Like,
People.
you know when people come in and there's nobody to fucking say hello?
Kim's just like.
Where's the redhead? Where'd she go?
Yeah.
She's looking at trucks again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The company diplomat.
Company diplomat.
Yeah.
I like
Whoa,
that.
exactly.
Diplomat is a way cooler
Yeah.
title.
Diplomat. Yeah.
Saint, the feeling is why I keep telling streamers to stop saying
Yeah.
they're late when they make
Yeah.
their own schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
Not
to
late.
reschedule on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
With
Or-
a plan.
Or
Yeah.
because of the
I
heat.
Yeah. So I guess that goes back to like, is it a real job when you make up your own schedule and you're responsible for your own time and you're not having to clock in and clock out?
What I think I so what
When you're
I
saying
used to
real job.
Yeah, well, I used to do this talk called Career Chaos, and I traveled cross country, went to all these universities, went to every university actually, and I would put that's right. I'm bragging, right? I went to every goddamn university. I saw that. Do you not know that I'm sitting right beside you and I can see you on the fucking monitors?
Bobblehead.
Can't mock me for that. Went to every goddamn one.
Bill, I love
I
that.
was just confirming.
You're
with
fired.
my head.
Yeah,
Can't be fired.
but it was funny
Bill,
because
That's a real
I
job
would
right
ask-
there.
Bill wins.
I would ask people, like I would ask students what I was like, oh, tell me like what jobs you want to do, blah, blah, you know, whatever. And I would write them on the chalkboard, and I always had like a big like poster board that was covered. And I would I'd take a couple and then I'd rip down the sheet and show them my board. And it was always like doctor, dentist, lawyer, teacher. And I was like, oh, wow, I read your mind. Holy shit. And then, and then we would talk about like how many jobs there were and how many things that hadn't even been up. Like nobody was talking about doing anything that we were doing now other than maybe like professor, like teacher. But like other than that, there was no like discussing what these other weird jobs were, because that's all you see on TV, that's all you see on billboards, that's all you see in movies, right?
Yeah.
Doctor, dentist, lawyer, teacher. So
Yeah.
those are to me the real job, like a real job thing.
I have a niece who hates school. She's older now, but a couple years ago, like, hated school, and she was constantly like missing the bus on purpose, and so they would have to drive her, and so they would put her in the car and then go get the baby to get in the car. While they were getting the baby, she would run out of the car, hide her shoes, and hide in the house so that she couldn't. Hated it. And every family thing was like, blah, school, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, I know it sucks, but like eventually you'll get to be out of school And she said, yeah, but then I have to have a job. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you get it. Never mind. But that's when I started telling her about all of this,
That's
right?
true.
Like I showed her, Brenda, your YouTube channel, because at the time, I think Twitch was still new, or maybe I just wasn't into it. Don't tell anybody I said that. And so I showed her, I was like, look, like this person does art for a job.
Yeah.
Like that could be a job.
That can be a job. You can do it.
Yeah.
Actually, I like what Claire said. St. Clair was right too. Entertainment, yes, obviously is.
Yeah.
It is a real job,
That's a good
but
point.
That's also those like teacher, lawyer, doctor. The thing that makes those paths seem clear, Mindy, how dare you? The things that makes those
Awesome.
paths seems clear is school. It's because
Yeah,
there's an
yeah,
obvious
yeah.
path through school, and when you say even like musician, like the artist, the thing that sorry if I just blew your ears out. The thing that makes it hard for us to picture, I think, when we're kids, is that the only thing anyone tells you is go to school.
Yeah.
And then go to a different kind of school or training until you can have a job.
Yeah.
And if there's like any cloudiness between the, well, when you're an artist, we talk about this all the time, like, it's like some deity comes one day and is like, I will take your paintings to a gallery. They will sell for thousands. Ba-ding! But that, like, I mean, maybe. Not for most people, I know. Certainly not for me.
And I love that St. Clair because that's I talk to my students about that
Saint.
nonstop because they're so young and they're at that point where everyone's saying go to school, but not what you're currently going to school for because they're going to school for music and performing arts and it's still everywhere I go. I always felt this pressure kind of before the last few years of like if you're ever out, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a teacher. Like, I don't just say that because it's easier than saying, like, I'm a musician. Because right away, there's always that response of, like, yeah, but what's your real job? And literally with those words, like, what's your real job?
And
I'm a teacher.
But that's when you gotta say, fuck you, Martha. It's like St. Clair. Music is a real job and you can make a living at it.
Yeah, teaching is your side hustle.
I get really.
Wow, you just flipped everything on its head in that one sentence.
She's never heard that before.
She's
so close to quitting.
I have a lot to think about. What I think I'm occasionally getting a puppet in my frame, which I love very much.
Hey! Check-in fees, we do appreciate every time a group shares discussion.
I think we have to, we must.
Yay!
Sean loves the clapping.
Oh, it's also announcing that Uru is the
biggest.
Best. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we can't hear that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll clap.
Yes, this will count for TRT because obviously we're still on the road to 100. We're at minus 36 now. Thank you, Uru. Yay! Very good.
The traveling
LJP.
trippy hippies. Skywalkers are out. Trippy hippies are in. Hi, Luke.
That's nice.
Hi, Jenny.
Uru, you sweet angel. Read and run, chef life. Speaking of 9 to 5, tea time. Hi, tea time.
That's nice.
How are you? Tea time. You were such a joy in Vince's.
Oh my God, yeah.
You
I
were
saw that.
so funny. Tea time was being very funny. It was spectacular. Have a good time being a chef.
Go make all the things. Make the yummy things.
Yeah.
Can we have some?
I want to go back to what you were saying about when people,
Do it.
when people are like, "Hey, you!
I'm listening.
I would take any advice from this.
Yes.
I used to go to these like meetup events. Remember when there was like Third Tuesday and like all these like things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd be like, oh, I'm talking to people who are like doing the job. Ooh, there's pencil skirts here. Oh my God.
Oh, there's a pencil skirt. This is a serious event.
Is pencil same.
Yeah.
Same.
And that wasn't like that wasn't my jam. I tried pencil skirts in that life. The pencil skirt life isn't for me. And people would be like, oh, what do you do? And I would say, oh, I'm just a bartender. which is like the
Thank you,
same
Luke.
thing, but like,
Yeah.
what is just about
Just-
it?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Bartending
You are.
is a crazy
Yeah.
hustle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there's many reasons to love whatever the hell you're doing. You know,
Yeah,
like so many different
exactly.
reasons. Like, I like to have my weekends. I like to do this. I don't want to work on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
This job's
The
closed.
freedom
like,
of being
whatever.
in the service
like,
industry
yeah,
is
yeah.
pretty remarkable.
And it's so funny because I've when I felt overwhelmed with the
Yeah.
kind of typical
exactly.
real
It was
job, you find yourself like fantasizing about being a bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being
Oh my God,
a
yeah.
barista. Like there's
For
been
sure.
so many moments in my lifetime that I was just like, I am so burnt out. I am so
Yeah,
overwhelmed.
yeah.
I'm so tired of like this amount of responsibility, which is why it's like, have you worked a real job? It's like, that's hard because even with all these contracts that I've worked over all these years, it's still up to me.
Yeah.
I
You got to do
still
it.
have to do it. No one is looking
Yeah.
after me to know where I am. I just better show up and do my job properly. So it's just overwhelming, and then you find yourself, you're like, I'll be out at a restaurant or at a coffee shop. I'm like, that looks nice.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you come
Yeah.
here, you make the drinks, you go home, and you're not worrying about like 260 people and their futures. So yeah,
Yeah, but then 260 people come in and yell at you how you got their drink wrong and you're an idiot. And then you want to do a
so
different
there's that
thing.
too.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
good though is you learn how to deliver snark in a
Yeah.
very friendly way. And people are like, yes, please more.
Yeah.
Was honed.
We
Those
have.
are days as like in the food service
Yes.
industry, like blanket statement. Did you ever finesse that skill?
I did.
I've talked about that a lot
Yes, same.
in
Mindy, I got you.
on the
There's
podcast.
still time.
Was like when like you know just when you know shit's just so overwhelming and you're like, oh, I wish somebody would just tell me what to do right now.
Yeah.
But then that's so short-lived because I'm like, wait a minute, no, I don't. Like, no,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
We talk about that all the time, though, where
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
seek input from each other sometimes, and often the response is like, no, I'm not going to do it. But you want someone to be like, well, why don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Why don't you just try this?
And then
Yeah.
suddenly you're like, oh, turns out I don't want. And it was good to work through that out loud. But I decided to do exactly the thing that I thought of that I want to do,
Yeah. 100%.
which is fair.
Yeah.
Mindy,
Well, you
that
said I
hurts
have to
my
do-
heart, but we have time. Mindy, I got you.
It's
Oh,
never,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
never
yeah.
too
It's
late.
never too late. We
Never
got
too
you.
late.
Exactly.
Darling, don't you worry. We got,
Everybody
we got you
blooms
covered.
in their own time.
You know what really was, and Brenna, you can attest to this, when the thing I probably dislike the most is when people go online and are like, oh, you can't make money
Oh my
on
God.
YouTube or on Twitch or
It
whatever,
sends
or
him
like
into
you
a
can't
rage.
do this. You know, I was trying to be an
It
artist
is
for so many
frustrating.
years and now I can't. And I'm not going to name the person, but like one particular person had done it, but they had done it haphazardly, and then they were really encouraging people not to do this. And I was like, you come to this studio right now. And I was like, you bring your butt here, because the way you were doing it was wrong.
Sean gives
Doesn't mean you
Sean
couldn't
gives
do it.
come
It
to
doesn't mean you
Jesus
can't make it.
meetings.
It's just you didn't do it properly, and you didn't really give it a go. And it's like now you're discouraging all these other people that are following you, because definitely other people were like, oh yeah, you can't make arts. You gotta be starving artist. I'm like, fuck you, you can. Yeah, I've seen it a million times. It's just you haven't figured out the right way to do it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the scary part about
Fuck.
this path and why it's not that traditional clear path is because it's different for everyone.
Yes,
And even
right.
if you think
Yeah.
that this method works for someone else,
For
that
sure.
might not work for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, for
so
sure.
it is about experimentation and being fine failing, right?
Only fans, Jenny. Only
Self-footprint.
fans.
Yeah,
you-
Jenny, there's platforms. For
You know what though? There are. You absolutely can lay in bed, eat Doritos, and make money.
Yes.
There's always a way to make money doing anything these days. Oh, $300. It's not true. If
Build
it's not
a
for charity. It's possible to prosper. Yes, it's true.
But maybe that's why we all like stuff like this, where we get to talk about like one of the biggest whys I think we all have. I love being able to do this beautiful job that is such a gift, but I also love being able to do it and talk about it publicly in I hope a balanced way that doesn't say like, fall onto Instagram and you'll be famous.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't want to minimize the fact that
Yeah,
it
yeah.
does
You gotta put in a lot of work.
require
Yes.
effort
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure, and that I would not trade it. I would do this job,
Yeah.
For 50 more hours a week for a fraction of the pay,
Yeah, for sure.
rather than do one day at my old work, which
Yeah.
isn't to disparage everything I learned there either. But part of why I love talking about it and doing it publicly is because I think all the time about kind of what Mindy was saying in chat, I think about my 7-year-old self and how there were no clear examples of how to do these jobs. And I love the idea of being able to be visibly, publicly, healthily creative in any way, shape, or form. I love being able to show that. To counteract people on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure.
They're all on Facebook. Delete Facebook.
Delete Facebook.
No, why?
I
Why? It might
know,
work for
I
some
know,
people.
It does. You're right.
Just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people.
It does. It does. And
God damn it.
It is one of the things that I find a bit of a downside to the way that you can sort of like proclaim publicly, my job's hard. The market I went to was a bust.
Sure.
The show I went to was empty. The painting I made didn't sell.
Yeah, sure.
All of those things can be true, but they can also be really demotivating.
That's
if
true.
that's all you talk about.
But how will I know what my face looks like? That's right.
You'll suffer, man.
If you don't use it, it's the only way you
Right,
can spin. That's true. No, but I don't know. There are people definitely. I know people that work with like older populations that Facebook is the only way to go.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's a very successful creator on Patreon who does almost all of her connecting with her community through Facebook lives, and I was baffled at first, but then she talked about her kind of target market, and that's just where they were.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. And she's got thousands of people just waiting for her next class. I don't know if you and I were talking about it, but Gary Vayner, do you all know Gary Vaynerchuk? You know who he is? Yeah, so I was watching like after one of his talks, and somebody was saying like, oh, we're gonna change, like our goal is to change the world through food, you know, and like we're gonna it's gonna be great, you know, and we're gonna get everybody on board, we're gonna get millions of people to change their diet and everything. And he's like, oh, that's awesome, that's really good, I'm really proud of you guys. How many times a week do you guys post? And they were like, well, you know, we're just starting out and it's brand new. And he's like, nope, shut up. He's like, how many times a week have you posted this week about the thing you want to do? And they were like, well, we're just coming into some money, so we're going to be hiring somebody. He's like, no, that's not what I asked. He's like, for the third time, how many times have you posted about this earth-changing, world-changing thing? And they were like, well, we posted, I think last week we had one good post that we did, and he just like walked away and was like, oh, what the fuck, you're gonna change the world with one fucking post? And I was like, I love that sentiment where it's like, yeah, it is still a lot of work, you know, and I think a lot of people end up doing some of these jobs even and are like, well, I tried it and I tried my best, and I was like, well, no, you streamed for 40 hours, but then there was no other like content being made, there was no, you know, nothing, you know. It's like that's a tricky part too, where I'm like, well, get your shit together.
Yeah, I've seen a lot online. Sometimes there's this sentiment in like streamer spaces where sometimes it'll be like, oh, if Twitch was to pay you for streaming $5 a day, 5 days a week, would you do it? And you're like, that's not our job. It's not our job. That's like such a small fraction of all of the things that we do in a day, that it's not about streaming for the same amount of time that you would do another job, because where is the enormous amounts of other tasks that you have to do in this job outside of that?
Prepping, planning, like making graphics, doing whatever, like taking your clips.
We don't stream 40 hours a week because it's not physically possible.
I was gonna say at the end, my brain is so broken that I couldn't possibly like.
My brain, my body, my ability to make words that are part of the English language.
Cook food after.
What is
just flopping around like a weird little jellyfish out of water? Is this a person?
All I know is it's become one word, and I don't know what to think or do with myself for the next 3 hours. So that's an important part to kind of equate into managing your time.
That idea of like the stream, like the public facing live stream being like the performance or the like just the very, very surface, the very, very front facing client, and then that like iceberg of everything behind before, in addition to in conjunction with.
And I mean, that's a thing that you face as artists with your final pieces. That's a thing that I was facing so much in the past with booking shows. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you want how many monies? Like, I should be able to just pay you minimum wage. At the time it was like $7 an hour. I should be able to pay you $7 an hour for 2 hours of nonstop music.
Right.
And that's how it should work. And you're like, again, that iceberg of like, you do not understand how much goes into what you're about to see, and even like the setup and the gear and everything else. It's not something that a lot of people take into account when they're.
I'd still do it for myself and on my own time and of my own inclination and my own making, like 100 times in 100 different ways, but it does sometimes feel like invisible work in a way that people don't. Like when we talk about the jobs that people get, right? And they're like, you go to the whatever job place and do the, and then all done, goodbye. And that has such a clear cut, you are working, you are not working.
But that's why we got to do stuff like this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So we can talk about more about what's going on in the background and what tools we use and all that. It's kind of why we did this, right?
Well, it just feels nice too to not kind of be on a journey alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you think about the fact that the path is so convoluted, the path is not the same for all of us.
Yeah. Which is also, I just think, a huge thing for artists or creatives in general. It's like how many people are just slogging it out, making their guitars or, you know, whatever, making music or doing yoga or whatever, art, and then like being isolated and like not having someone to talk to and bounce something off of and be like, hey, what do you think of this? Or can you listen to this and tell me what you think? You know?
Something came up recently, and it was one of the camp counselors who brought it up, and I thought it was so insightful, and it hurt my heart a little bit, but they were like, this is the first time I've been in like a community. They were talking about camp, but they meant just like all of us and all our friends and all our where it doesn't feel like this is competition. Like you're coming to these other community and you're like, oh well, that's my competition, and I'm glad that they don't feel that way, and I'm glad that people are not feeling that way in the context of like our communities. That's wonderful. And also I found it heartbreaking and kind of a weird reality check to think, oh, I've never had the experience, and maybe it's because maybe it's just lucky, or maybe it's like the people that I knew before Twitch was part of my life and after Twitch was a part of my life, that have always felt like, oh, these are colleagues, these are friends, these are people I can rely on to be like, this job's weird, right? And the idea that I'd be in competition with someone feels very different to my experience. And one of those things I think sometimes maybe I'm a bit, such a beautiful little rainbow corner of the internet. Like it felt a bit naive. Do you know what I mean?
That could be true.
Just a little.
But I think it's also just like the communities you were in pre-Twitch, and myself as well. Like we've always done a lot of community work. We've also always done like a lot of charity work. So you are around folks that we were doing this because when you said like, oh, I would still do this regardless. I could never stop. I could never stop. I'll always be doing this. And I think that we were all kind of, whether it's something we could actually be doing full time or whether it's just something that we're able to give back to our community, we're going to keep doing this. So that drew us all to each other.
That's true.
And then
that's true.
I think it's also kind of a symptom of Ottawa a little bit. It's a smaller community, it's a smaller space. And when I've heard those kinds of things about like competition in arts, it's a lot of folks that are kind of coming in from Toronto and Vancouver, and they'll come into the Ottawa space and be like, everybody from Ottawa is just so nice. Like, why are you all
small to be rude?
Why are you so nice? You're like,
too small to be rude.
I'm going to compete with the 12 other people who are in everybody's bands.
I'm going to read this person tomorrow. If I'm rude, they will be on the panel tomorrow. That will, if you are rude, they will be the person opening your next door. Yeah. They will be. Yeah. Raven!
Hi, Raven! Thank you, Raven! Also, Joe said I was kind. I want to put that
Joe said you were kind?
Yep.
That's
because y'all.
That's some real high praise.
I'm part of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Cute pie, so are you. Joe is wrong.
Well done, Joe. We're gonna soften
here.
Sean's heart slowly.
Thankfully,
but
Briggs
surely.
here. Don't worry about it. Thanks, Brig.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Brig.
Are you doing that like without hands as well? You're just able to delete Jenny without your hands?
Briggs here. Calm down, I'm
perfect.
trying. She's
Okay.
my non-mod.
Yeah, I love it.
Sean's not mod.
Not-
Yeah.
mod.
She never, like, sometimes she doesn't say things, but she'll just pop up and like, bloop.
Magically
Very
from behind
sneaky.
the
Love it.
scenes.
Mostly just Jenny.
mod
Mostly
me.
just Jenny.
Just as y'all did include Sean, I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Don't tell Sean, but I think he's kind of cool.
It's fine.
He's fine. He gets along fine. All right, I want to ask our first question since we, we kind of got started, but
Did you
We're-
introduce what we're doing? Did you
what do you mean?
You don't wanna-
People know what we're doing.
Look
What the
at
fuck? This is the
stank
third
face
one. What are
he
you
just
talking
gave
about?
me.
This is the third one. What do you mean? We're just talking about stream.
Does
What are you talking
anybody
about?
not know what's happening?
I think
Yeah.
it's Bill's first
the hell?
time
Hi,
here.
Bill.
But Bill knows. You know.
Bill, do you have any questions, honey? Are you
Any
I
clarification?
mean, you're gonna
the
figure it
hand
out.
puppet will
Bill's
answer.
new. Bill is
For,
new.
are you? Oh, are you
You'll
new?
figure it out. He's
Saints
fine.
new.
Bill, you're fine. You'll just
Drongo's
catch
new.
on. What do you need to know?
It's just like a Brenda stream.
Yeah. What do you need to know?
Luke, the number of sentences that I have finished already completely annihilates any
Are you just looking
comparison.
at the screen?
If you missed the first.
Ooh, nice.
It's been you missed the
Oh
first 2
my
seconds.
Wow. Wow. Also, look at
But
Ernest's
what is there to
choice of
explain?
email.
We sit here, we answer
you're right.
questions.
No, you're right. What
And then
was
we
I
get through
thinking?
it.
You're
What
right. Tell me
possibly, what possibly do you need
Please,
to
go
know?
on.
Hi
I
everyone,
can't
my
wait for
name is
questions.
Danielle Allard. Welcome to Sean's stream. Today we're doing a creator check-in. When Sean continues to scream, this is the third one. He's referring to creator check-in.
We did it. It was the whole screen and
What's the
everything.
creator
I played it.
check-in?
Look
We
at
have artinjest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
See that? You
We already
Welcome
did it.
back.
And
That was
Once
already
again,
there.
I'm
It
Danielle
was already
Allard.
there.
This
There we
is
go. Welcome in.
Artinjest,
Yeah.
famous for doing no art but talking a lot about it.
Right, famous for doing no music
across
but
the
talking
table.
about it.
Also famous for doing lots of music.
Doing no
0.9
music.
songs an hour. I literally was like, how
We
how
need
many?
to start that tally.
It's like how many songs?
Yes.
I'm glad they're
I missed
explaining what
that.
we're doing.
How many
glad that they're gonna
songs to how
explain.
many?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Really.
sorry.
Yeah.
This is the explanation that we
Across the
needed.
table, we have kimmaginaryfriend,
Jesus Christ, they all know who we are.
known for making the
We have
most
2 out.
beautiful
God.
collages,
She doesn't do any collage. What are you talking about? You haven't done a collage on stream in hours.
She talks
days,
about it.
and
streams.
we'll roast you with a look. And across the table, we
It's
have
also Danny.
do more cool stuff, because that's
we're-
all I can say on
Remember we're
Twitch.
the same?
Can't say the other one.
Remember we're the same?
Oh, and
you remember
across
that?
the table is myself,
Yeah,
but
Yes.
with
that's
beard.
right. We're the same, yeah.
Also plays the
We're the
same
same.
amount of music that I do live on stream.
That's true. I did play music the other day.
Performance art. All my favorite art and. Bill.
Oh, God. Okay, yes,
You're
and the whole
great.
point of this
Getting
creator check-in is to
thoroughly
check the fuck
roasted.
in with
I'm
creators.
sorry. I'm sorry I derailed
Can
that.
you please write that on the title next time?
Look at it.
Thank
People
you
don't
for
understand what's happening
orienting
here. You're in the
everyone.
wrong goddamn stream.
Not assuming that everybody
God.
already knew who everyone.
God. But it's called creator check-in. What do you think?
love us.
It's a creator
Ask
check-in.
the question, Sean. My goodness.
We're
Get
so
on
far
with
into
it,
this.
Sean.
God.
We're running out of time, Sean.
Yeah,
Go,
the stream
go,
might
go,
end.
go.
That'd be fine.
Stream might end.
That'd be fine. We just end stream. Thanks for coming, everybody. Come to the Maker and check in the 4th one.
Sean's like, there won't be another one. Thank you.
Fine.
And that's how the first half of the year went.
First half. This is the 3rd quarter. What the fuck? This is the 3rd one. What are you talking about?
To be fair, Kim is the only one
Are
on
you
your
asking us
side
to do math right now, sir?
God, there's 3.
Jenny, GG's, who we rating?
Yeah, who rating?
I can math.
Hi, Angie. I went paid. You guys gave me through. Well, because I'm having it all, cutie. Okay, someone wanted to know, how do you watch stream? How do you interact with Twitch as a viewer? So we all know that you stream a bunch, but how do you fill your days interacting and watching streams?
Do you want to go first? What do you
How do you choose to watch streams? How do you do that?
Well, my favorite thing is just to go and be really calm and like let them do their thing, like let them actually say full sentences, and by that I mean none of that.
It's lying. It's lying. It's the first answer is a
I
lie.
really feel
Modest
like you
citizen.
need to go in and you need to just light everything on fire wherever you go. And when you have a group of friends who are willing to do that as well, that means the fire spreads quicker. And I think that that's fantastic.
Arson.
How do you like to watch
Kim
streams?
likes arson.
Arson.
Danny arson. Learn it to the ground.
Join me. I've taken the batteries out of the smoke detector. It'll be fine.
That's terrifying and wonderful.
I love
What kind of
that
streams
can
do you
just
look for,
kinda go
though?
in. Oh, Ugh.
Like, what's the thing that gets, you're like, oh, I'm gonna watch this.
I feel like you end up seeing and meeting so many people while you're alive that half of it's just trying to catch up and see what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it blows your mind to find out that some of these folks are also streaming. And I'm like, why did you not tell me this whole time?
Yeah.
Yes, oh dear.
Yes.
Danny, sometimes it just...
Red
I'm
hair.
honorary.
There's red hair. Yeah, it's in there
It's in
somewhere.
there.
She's got ginger energy.
Yeah.
I'm Orange Cat.
Oh dear.
Orange cat.
Oh dear. Oh, we're in Canada? Occupy. That's awesome. Noise.
Yay! So, I think that a lot of us are kind of a little bit scared of the game side of Twitch, just moderately. Might just be me. I know lots of really wonderful, super kind gamers, but I think that there's a lot of game streams that I've gone in, and I'm just like, whoa! I don't think I can say anything in this chat.
Yeah.
Remember we talked, I think, was it 9 that was talking, we had a conversation about like the OG rules of Twitch that come from gaming culture that feel like a bit more vicious and a bit more like, you don't even mention that you ever stream. It's very, and I'm not saying go in and promote yourself, but
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But going into certain game streams, and not even like promotion, but just
You always feel welcome in my game
for
stream,
how
don't you?
shockingly toxic some
Right.
communities can be. I
Don't
mean,
you
we know
always
the
feel
internet.
welcome?
We've got like this nice fuzzy like music and art section
know.
where everybody loves everybody,
I know.
but there's a lot of spaces that I've gone in that I'm like, wow, this chat, like I couldn't possibly.
Yeah.
So I do tend to gravitate towards music and art, and
Yeah,
there's a lot
sure.
of folks that you got to know pretty well over the last few years. So I tend to hang out a lot in friends' streams, and yeah, just like you end up being master lurkers, right? Opening up 5 million different tabs just to support your friends, and
I am the ultimate lurker.
Buddy.
I lurk a lot.
Yeah.
I lurk all the time.
Yeah,
Learn
yeah.
from the best. And I really like lurking my little face off and then like popping out like a little goblin monster at the best time. Also, I really like for getting to know new communities. I do a ton of, we've talked about this, I'll like open up a separate browser, go into something that like won't have any history and scroll through Twitch to try to get out of my own algorithm to see different people, because I'm constantly looking for, I don't even know how I would describe it, but there's a very specific feeling I get when I'm in a channel. I'm like, oh, we are friends with, we vibe.
Yeah, people would like this.
We vibe. And
Yeah.
sometimes I know about like that I'm like, do you know who would really get along with that? These people would find each other. All of these people should be best friends.
Yeah.
And I think the main tool for that is raids. Like if I'm thinking about how I actually want to make friends, I'll lurk, accumulate points, say nothing, be an absolute creeper.
oh yes,
And then go in like a wrecking ball and be like, hello!
yes.
We wish to be best friends.
About to start? Yes, please.
Yeah,
there we go.
exactly.
Yes, let's start that.
Oh, do you have buttons?
All of
What
you
a
can
magical-
deal with this
Yeah,
now.
I don't
Enjoy.
know.
And then you just sit there and cackle, and it's delightful.
And I like that for making friends. I do recognize, and this is partly from my experience of you
Look at
very.
what you're teaching people.
I'm teaching people, be a creeper. Just
Yeah.
what?
Being a creep is the best way to make friends. People are taking
Creep.
notes. Ulo, don't take that note.
But I really try
damn
to
it.
watch. I try to watch what people are up to. I try to catch up constantly. I'm constantly trying to like watch
Be a sneaky
who's been
creep.
hanging out. Being a
Yeah.
sneaky
Like what's
creep.
happening right now?
Yeah.
Just like
No, but it's good to know. And it, like we often talked about like who's on before your times and who's on after your times, and like I don't know. I often find when people start streaming and they're like, "Well, I stream between 12 and 3," and I'm like, "Okay, so really you should be on from 11 to like 4 at
Minimum.
least, you know?" And it's like
Yeah.
put those hours in there so you can see like who all else is before you, who all else is after you,
And,
what's kind of going on.
Look for people that are doing things you admire.
Hey,
and
Lou.
join them. I do a lot of.
I think
do
it
lot of
takes
that
a
stuff.
while just getting to know the vibe of the chat and the vibe of the streamer, and I'm super introverted in real life to a point where it's like I feel really uncomfortable going into chats for the first time, and I know there's lots of folks that feel the same. So having really nice mods and having a community of people who say hi, just to be like, I just feel like I'm bothering people. When
Ambassadors
I lurk too.
Yeah.
So I have to get a little
community
more
ambassadors.
Yeah.
Lurk till it's weird. Perfect. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Gold stars. Yep.
Yes.
Raven. Perfect.
Yeah, Dia, very good.
Perfect.
This is what we need to do.
Rain. Perfect. Yeah. Gold stars.
Yeah, that's
everybody.
what we need.
What about you?
More Babe Ross
Do you creep?
bros.
Do you lurk
Oh my
creepy?
god, I creep so much. Listen,
Yeah.
See, everybody
Lurking?
creeps,
Oh,
Sean.
yeah.
Don't make it weird.
Yeah,
Well, but you don't have to call
don't
it
make being
creeping.
a creepo weird.
Yeah, it's called creeping.
I feel like lurking in streams is kind of like when you go for a walk at night in neighborhoods where nobody has curtains. And you can
Fish tank window.
Yeah, where you just
people
like see
live their
it.
life.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Creepos
And
unite.
then sometimes I'll
I forgot that emote existed.
unlurk when
It's
the
heinous. I love
intrusive
it.
thoughts take over.
I was like, sorry, talking about being creepos.
Until
we're
it's
ready.
class, and then you're like, I just gotta, I gotta say the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I-
Or
That's
they
a good
say
move.
something like creepy or hilarious or something
Right.
bizarre, then I'm like, yes, I will follow you now. I
Yeah,
am
yeah,
following
yeah.
for this statement.
Kim would love the Netherlands. A lot of people don't do curtains.
I'm on my way. Hang on,
be
I'm
looking at
getting a ticket right now. Here we go.
But it's a vibe
purchase.
check. I feel like raids are our most powerful tool as a community
Oh, yes.
often to go and meet new friends, and I obsess over raids and who to raid and who's raided in and what kind of room
Yeah.
is in there and like what proportion of like did they come from like a makers and craft, or is this like a music scene, or do we have a mix today? How many people are new? What
Yeah.
PG level? Because
Yeah.
there's some streams I'm like, I love your stream,
Yes.
and I know that this room it'll be a bit of the shock to
Right.
the system to go way up or way down on if I
Right.
happen to have a family friendly stream, and then I take them somewhere, or I might just have to do some prep work, you know. Brenda and Sean's I've never lurked because Nine brought me to Brenda and told us was twibbling. It's true, Nine is my twibbling. And then DMCS was already encountered elsewhere, so came in screaming, Raven, you can scream. In
Well,
my
and sometimes
stream
that's nice too,
anytime."
right? We often talk about like, I don't know, especially when people are new to streaming and they're like, how do I get started? And I'm like, just watch a lot of streams.
Oh, yes.
Just say nothing, shut up, and just go and watch and see how people interact and, you know, try to learn the environment that is around, right? Can I swear? Can I not swear? Is it okay to say peen? Should I not say peen?
The answer is
You know.
always no.
The answer is always yes.
It's not.
Always gift
It's
to peener.
really
It's
not.
really
Always
not.
gift to peener.
Oh my god.
I've
There's so
raided
many more
places
peeners left. And
with
by the way, I looked the other day, there's
Sean in
so
my
many.
chat,
How dare
and
you.
I
Right.
had a moment of like,
Dare
great.
you.
I really wish you weren't doing that
Yeah.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Really wish.
Always say maybe to peen.
Yeah, there you go.
If that's the one thing you take away from today's stream,
Creep until it's
please
not weird.
don't.
Lessons.
Please don't.
Life
Good job, Joe.
lessons. Odia, perfect.
What about
emote.
boners?
I'm on my best behavior in
Look
your
at that emote
chats.
from
Bill, we
Tia.
know.
And we thank
love
you
that.
for it.
Whoa.
We thank
What
you
even
for
is
it.
that?
That's
But
great.
also,
Tia, what
I
is that?
appreciate when people take a minute.
Cat
It's a
scare.
little cat in a flashlight.
No, I know, but I just wondered if it's just a general Twitch one.
I saw Raven. Oh, I
I'm
saw.
boner to Kim. No, we've seen her
Wow.
floppy boner.
It's very cats too.
It's shy.
But that's not true because in stream it was very floppy, and then you had to do a
Wow.
lot of work to get it stand up straight.
Wow.
And then Twitch
Wow.
sent me a warning.
They did.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
They did? What?
Yeah, my channel got a warning for sexual content
Whoa.
because of the cactus.
Because the cactus?
The crochet.
Oh my god, a crocheted cactus nonetheless.
Twitch, you wish that was your biggest problem.
That's hilarious.
Literally
So that's
and
why they
figuratively.
automatically put sexual themes on all my streams now. I didn't put it on.
That's so
They
funny.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably true. You say boner a lot.
I do, but I didn't think it was a sexual
kind of way.
And then, and then a lot of your AI Kim was really not having it.
Yeah, That's true.
Until I figured out how to make
Yeah,
it
you
say it.
did.
And then I was like, yeah, I did it.
This question's going really well.
No, it was good.
What
It
was
fine.
the question?
Yeah, exactly, Jenny.
I know.
How do you better creep on
That's
women
what you tell me.
How do
Yeah.
you be as creepy as possible when meeting new people?
and peek into
That
a
was
window?
the question.
Do you
Well, that's why I
see your-
thought. Have you met either of you? That's why I thought I'd ask.
We're really creepers. Because we
Yeah,
love you
facts.
all, and we're always never not lurking. We're never not
Yeah.
lurking.
But also, it's a part. Also, I do want. It is kind of a part of the job, right? It's like learning, right? You're always learning, and you're
I
always
want to know
observing
what
and trying
everybody's
to figure
doing,
something. Yeah.
and I want to know
And
what
it's
they
fun.
have going on. And
Yes.
I try because I
Yeah.
can't unlurk all the time as much as I would like
Yeah.
to. I like to know what people are doing so that when they come in, I
Oh my
can
God.
say,
Can't you?
"Oh, did you finish that project you were working on?" Or like,
Show
"How's that festival you're doing?" Or what? Like, tell me about the thing that I know
They're
you're
not my people.
you
That's
have
right.
going on.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. I think that's important.
Well, I think that that's a good point as to what you were saying around like this culture around not doing self promo, which is
Yeah.
for sure. So whenever I'm like, oh my gosh, how come you never told me? I know stream's never a good time for that. Also, because I might be at any point just like crying on the floor, screaming with a dinosaur puppet. So
Yeah.
if there's ever really good news, that sometimes I get lost and I don't
Information.
see it.
Any information.
Yeah.
I did go into your stream, I don't know, it was a couple days ago, and you were not there. And it was only 10 minutes into stream. You were just, it was on, and I was like, oh, has Danny somehow started the stream and she's not there?
So real.
And then I was like, oh, I wonder if someone's
thumbnail's
gonna
just
tell
nobody
her.
there on
And like,
stream.
it was just
left.
there.
Is someone
She's
gonna
left.
tell her?
And then it took for a while. It was like a good long
Thank you,
while,
Saint. I
and you were just
appreciate
on
that.
the second monitor.
I appreciate that.
And then the top down cam came on, and you were like dead on the ground. And
Oh, that
I was like,
one.
oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, it was when Ark was arcing. Yeah.
Was that when you went and got
And it
the
was like-
stuffed? The stuffed.
I don't know. I blacked it all out.
I spat water at one. But that's
cutie.
also to the point about like having colleagues and having community and having friends. I think one of the things that is awesome about going and getting to know other communities and knowing what other people are up to is like stuff like that's really energizing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fun
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
look what's like that. Like, oh no, but that gives me a lot of energy. That gives me a lot of. It's
Yeah.
the same as when we were talking about like, you know, if you wanna see something that'll uplift you. When we were talking about you and I both put our Instagram stories are almost all like, look at this person, look at this, look at that one, look at they're doing, look at like, I can immediately boost my own mood
Yeah.
by doing that.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
you need. I like to know what people are up to
Sure.
have that.
Yeah.
We have a follow up from Bill, and I actually have a second question.
Oh,
I actually have two other questions.
I'm gonna lose my
Chat
train of
from
thought because
before.
that entire thing was just to say Discords are
Oh.
very important.
Yes.
So share your good news on Discord, share your promos
Oh,
on
yeah, yeah,
Discord.
for sure, yes.
That's all I wanted to say with
Yeah,
that.
well, and don't be afraid to keep sharing. And I think
Yeah.
that goes back to like the
For
how many times you
sure.
post. And I feel like some people,
Discord.
especially in this
Yeah.
job, are like, well, I
Good
don't want to
point.
bother anybody, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm too much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just, you know what? People, especially like stories, reels,
feel
all that
that.
shit,
Yeah.
fucking flog it because it's good. You like, there's so many people aren't going to see it. And if they get tired of seeing it 2 or 3
Yeah.
times, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think you can really over promote the things you're working on social media because there's so many people there.
I also really
You know?
encourage people to post, especially
try
when
it.
they say
Do it.
stuff, and I'm like, I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
I'm not going to be able
so
to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
right.
can't give this the moment
Yeah,
it
yeah.
deserves.
Yes.
Would you please? I would love to celebrate this, scream about it. If you put it in Discord, I
Yes.
might get a hot second to
Yes.
like, because sometimes people will say wonderful
Yeah.
and I won't see it, or
I
someone will
know.
point or bless the mods.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah, yeah.
pin it and be like, hello,
Yeah, I know.
dumb,
I know.
look it over here.
Thank goodness for pin messages, am I right?
The way that, or they like set off note, make a sound. They have a sound that only they, because it's like, hello, can
Yeah.
you please?
Yeah.
And I need all of
Yeah.
that desperately.
And it goes to that
But
people feel
Discord, big.
sometimes uncomfortable sharing. Like I know I
Yeah.
feel that on
Yes.
socials. Like I don't want it to spam.
Sure.
I feel uncomfortable talking in chats. All these places I feel like I'm
Truly
taking
they are,
space
Bill.
that I don't feel like I deserve after all
But
this time.
Think of the energy that we just talked about
I
getting. You're
know.
denying us that
I'm
uplift.
sorry. I
By not
apologize.
Have you
putting it
tried
out there.
journaling about this idea about how you don't deserve space?
Oh, you know,
'Cause
just
we-
I've written a few songs
Your
about
little upset penguin, your little penguin hands.
How about that?
Your little upset penguin hands.
Can I just gonna awkwardly ask you to prom now,
It is
Brenda?
an asking you, but I was just wondering if you would have to go to prom with me.
But it's so funny because I don't feel that way about anybody.
Same.
I love it when people
Same.
tell me what they're doing.
Same.
When I can put like a face and a voice to anybody in the community when I'm reading, like it's a huge moment for me. Like I love so that when people, I feel honored when anybody's willing to share anything with me from the community.
Yeah.
Discord, so good.
Discord.
Yes, Ela, take up space.
Yeah.
It's okay to take up space.
I love you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
You
believe
can
in you.
take up
Ela.
space. It's okay, especially online, because there's so much shit. You're competing against so many things. So it's like, yeah, take up your
Yeah.
space. Be mindful about it. Be regular about it.
Also, when
You know?
you take up space, you make it easier for other people to
Yes.
make space for themselves.
Yes.
So you taking space makes space for others.
Yeah, 100%.
That's true.
So
That's a
if
great
it's
point,
weird
Cam.
for you to take up space, think about what it's doing for other people who are coming up after you.
Yeah.
Kim did an excellent shop talk called How to Be a Kind Main Character, and the way that you reframed taking up and occupying space and like holding the door for other people, I found incredibly refreshing. And the way that everybody who was in that talk, I felt like the entire time was just like, oh, like it feels revolutionary. It feels like brand new information.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you hear it, take up space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep practicing it.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
It's hard. And you might get it wrong
It is.
sometimes,
Oh,
too.
that's awesome.
You might get it
Yeah.
wrong. Somebody might, say, hey, don't do that. And you're like, oh, sorry.
Wasn't it
But that's
good?
okay. You can
Wasn't it?
learn.
It was
Yeah.
It's
really
the worst
good.
that's going to happen.
Awesome.
There was a
Back to
question.
Sean's agenda.
Well, there was a question. About floor monitor, but I think that's already been answered. You have floor monitor.
Thanks.
1, 2, 2.
Chat.
So I can see
Three.
the main monitor from under the piano. If
Okay.
anybody, if there's
Alright,
wondering
there you
that little trade secret.
Right.
But I did have an additional monitor now, which has been really good for when people come over, because then there's another monitor that people
I
can
loved
see
that.
behind.
I
Yeah.
loved
So
that.
that was
Right.
thank you, all of you, for making that happen. So I can read that from the floor, which is helpful.
You gotta
Yeah.
have a floor
Yeah, yeah.
monitor. You gotta have one, and you gotta have a storm out of
So
frame
there's
Hang on.
legit
monitor
floor monitor
for
Yeah.
leaving and like
Yeah.
ri-
Right,
and
what?
I brought my homework
Yeah.
book.
Your
And
homework
so
book,
about a
yeah.
frame
Yeah,
monitor.
yeah.
when you cut and we're gone.
I've never had to put the stream deck on the floor before, but that time felt necessary. So yeah, we need floor stream deck too.
Now we can read
That's
it.
easy to read.
Now we can read
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah, for sure.
I
Well-
don't have a floor monitor, no. But Raven, the way that mine's set up, I can see one chat from the floor, and I can see one chat when I leave.
But also, you have
Caitlin,
3
no.
chats open, right?
I have 3 chats.
Yeah, you have
open
3
all the
windows
time.
with chat
Yeah,
open,
there's
so you
3
can
different
see.
spots
yeah,
I
yeah.
can see chat.
Like
so
you
that I
can look
have
left,
eye
right, or
contact.
center. You're going to see
Yeah,
it.
because I like having as
Also-
close as I can to eye contact.
Can we talk about the monitor that you do have? That's because I think when people think of monitor, they think big, bulky. How do I don't have enough desk space. I don't
Yeah.
have this. You can get monitors now that just have a USB plug
Yeah.
and plug into the machine, and that's it. There's no big stand. It's not connected to the wall. There's it's just freestanding with a little barely bigger than an iPad,
It's also really nice
You know?
for the couple times that
and they're not expensive.
you and I have both done where
Relative.
if you have someone else in your space and
Yeah,
you
I should've
want
got this weird monitor.
here's
I already
your
showed you
Yeah.
this.
like if you want
God
to
damn it.
rearrange yours because that is very personal.
It's fine.
what-
Write down.
I'm
We'll
what
have
you
another
wanna have
conversation
out.
again.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very
Oh,
personal.
God.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
monitor
and I think
again.
too, it's just
Listen, a
like the
lot
way that you
happened
set
in
it
the
up.
last
You set it up for yourself,
Yeah.
right? So when you've got another person in there,
Yeah,
just
now you're
making
getting a new
sure
desk.
that their vantage
Especially-
point. I was really happy that we had that extra.
I
monitor
liked
for you.
that,
Yeah.
and we've had the experience of
worst
being
can't be?
in each other's space and both being a bit not
so
sitting
weird.
like.
Well, remember the first collab we ever
It's not-
did. You had us sitting in
That's true,
chairs.
Joe.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
true.
it was so
hilarious.
funny.
They
That
are
didn't
super
last
cheap,
very
though.
long.
So hard.
I'm glad you got rid of the
Well,
chairs.
I know.
Super cheap, I should say.
We tried.
imagine sitting.
True.
That's funny. Yeah, I have a very easy portable monitor, and
Yes.
it's so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
no matter where I am, including on the floor or
Yeah.
storming away, so I can yell
Yeah.
from a
Maybe,
distance.
Joe.
Dermo's
Thank
monitor
you.
is very
I can
cool.
still hear.
It's like a super cool camp monitor. that
And they
works,
don't
like-
have to be expensive.
Super
I
small
think
what?
people-
super cool camp monitor. Like
Camp?
it doesn't need access
I'm
to
running
electricity
like
and stuff.
Central
Oh.
Station.
Yeah,
Bill, how dare you? I am running
It
an
doesn't need
art
electricity?
stream.
No,
A normal
What
art
is this magical
stream.
monitor?
I know it's magical.
I love my portable USB monitor, especially that it has touch. Oh yeah, but you still
Whoa.
but you just
Stronger.
plug it
Take
into
that
something
back
else. Like you
right
plug
now.
it into.
How do you stream from the
Yeah,
floor?
that's what's upstairs.
Uru, against my
Yeah,
better
yeah.
judgment.
I love
That's
this.
how. Against my
I'll
will.
have to put together a YouTube tutorial.
How do you stream from the floor? Yeah,
Step 1, have had it. Step 2, get your stuffed chicken or what did you have? Puppet. Get your sock puppet.
Yes.
Leave. It is not yours now. Leave.
You are in charge of
Belongs to
nothing.
them. No one cares what your plan was.
Let the
Leave.
fire spread.
Yeah.
there you go. Caitlin, there's enough paint on the floor already. She
I
could
don't
just
wanna
keep
talk about
painting. There's so much paint everywhere. And crayons and paint and everything. God damn it. I walk around the house and go, what's that? What's this purple paint?
No, Raven.
What?
I think
no. Raven, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Why did you think I should do that? I thought it was great.
Oh, well, I thought that it was gonna like,
No.
progress.
It's fine. It's all good.
I had a warning on my channel. I'm trying to save yours.
Yeah, I
No,
love
it's
it.
fine. I've already been banned for 60 days. It's fine. I'm used
He's a
to it
phoenix.
now.
He rose from the ashes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a phoenix. That's it. Okay, well, so there was a follow-up question to that original question. Somebody wrote in and said, how do you connect with communities in Twitch? So now that we know that you've established yourself as a creeper and you've like watched the stream,
Why did you ask these questions in this order?
but it is like, it's tricky sometimes. What happens when you get in there and like no one says hi to you? Like, how do you like, or do you just leave?
I take that as a bit of an indication. If I go
Yeah.
into a space
Yeah.
and I am not at all welcomed, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to be in a room
Yeah.
that isn't for me.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
okay. There is nothing wrong with that room. If a room's already established, it's airtight, they have their own thing going on, that's valid, and I don't need to be invited into every room.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I think having ambassadors, having
Yes.
moderators, having people who, if the streamer, I think I can usually tell the difference between the streamers, but I know I've been guilty of not greeting people the way I would like to, and I am completely in the debt of the community for being the ones to run up to the door and say, oh my God, hi.
Yeah.
Come on, we're doing this now. This is the joke. Here's what we're doing. Yeah, she's getting a stuffed dinosaur. She'll be back. And oh, that's the snark cam. She's not actually mad at you. Like, you need people that'll do that, because I often can't. And I think I can recognize that in other communities. If the streamer just has their hands full,
Yes.
Yeah.
who cares
Yeah.
that who cares?
Yeah.
And also, if
Yeah.
someone is like, oh, hey, we're doing X, Y, that's all. That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's plenty.
It's also okay sometimes if you don't get noticed right away
Sure.
to say another thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like people are like, I've had conversations with other people who are like, well, I went in and nobody said hi, so I left and I'm never going back again. I was like, well, what are the things going on where it's busy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe they missed you.
Yeah.
Like, were there 100 other people and one of your comments got missed?
Yeah.
don't take it so goddamn personally.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, at first, like, I try to give
Yeah.
them a chance and say
Yeah.
a few more things. If it's a large
Right.
community and they have moderators, I find it strange when not even the moderators are saying
Yeah.
hi to new
Yeah, yeah,
folks.
yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I think this is such a special and really
Yeah.
important part of moderating. I think sometimes we think about the moderator role as like, oh, I go and I delete very questionable questions, and that's my job. That's it. But I think they really set the tone. Like they're a big part of the team and setting the tone for the whole community and the whole
Yes.
tone for the chat. But if it's a small community, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's somebody who's new to streaming. They don't have mods. They don't
Yeah,
have anybody
right.
who's talking in chat, and then they are trying to kill a boss and a boss. I don't know. There's a whole lot of stuff happening.
Sure.
It's a game. It's over. There's blood everywhere. Maybe they're a little bit distracted by that. You
Video
know?
game blood.
Oh, right.
Don't put a tag on this
Yeah, if the
channel.
streamer's bleeding everywhere, you probably shouldn't say hi.
What an asshole.
Yeah. I said hello. I see you're bleeding out your eyeballs, but I'm here. Do you see my check mark? God damn it.
I don't know.
I guess this place isn't for me.
Maybe their community is really putting them through it. Okay, I think we've been there.
Some people go on the floor, some people bleed through their eyeballs.
Don't you have a floor stream?
the monitor. What's the matter with you?
Sometimes I
can't
feel
see
really
me.
bad because I'm in
Get
the
your
middle
rubber
of a
chicken
song,
in
or like
there.
I'm synthesizing in the back, and
I'm
something's happening.
synthesizing.
That's why I got those flashing lights, because I'm like, I genuinely don't know what's
Synthesizing
happening
Right.
there. Like,
sounds
oh, there's a rave.
made up.
What's happening?
Lights are flashing. Something is.
Something's amiss.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The
Well,
mods
and-
are truly the worst behaved in my
yeah.
They're too quick at what
I
they
said
do.
boss fight before I said blood. This is not an IRL boss fight. Like, who are they
Right,
fighting?
but right
They're
to
fighting
blood.
their
IRL
boss
boss
live on
fight, yeah.
stream. Like,
I don't want to use a timesheet.
I won't use the punch card.
You're the punch card. Also, that's the moment when Stick Shift decided to follow. So thank you.
Good choice.
So yeah, Stick is here while you're punching
Good choice.
people.
Good choice.
I'm sure everybody's gonna be
Great
proud
moment.
of my punch.
With your thumbs like
Yeah,
that?
they say put your
Oh.
thumbs out.
What? Who says that?
Idiots, that's who.
You mean like this? You ever watch a boxing match? I don't think they mean like that.
Everyone's training me how to fight for the big parking
Oh
lot
my
fight. It's gonna
God.
happen.
Oh,
Andrea,
wow.
you're so proud of me.
Fight like this.
Oh my god, that's
Andrea's
crazy.
concerned.
Like this.
No.
Yeah, exactly. No, Danny. Yes, no.
What about you?
terrible.
Do you like go and I feel like you lurk quite a bit, but I see you very active.
But how do
in
you,
a ton
how
of
do you
chats.
wiggle your way in there?
You do a good job of getting.
I don't
you're
know.
just-
I'm like really good at it. It just feels. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you said something that could be perceived as saucy or
Yeah.
kind of bonery, and I'll come in and like
Yeah.
twist it and
You're good at matching
twisted, but-
tone.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? you
Bartending, I think.
Just being with, yeah.
Yeah, I think that I've spent my entire working life
It
has
surely
been
wasn't
with
your
people.
reception job.
Yeah.
No.
When you just left.
The only time I didn't work with people was when I was supposed to answer their phone calls and
Yeah.
questions.
Okay, good, great. But yeah, I guess like connecting with all those people and
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that I'm pretty. I really enjoy watching the chat go by, and I find it really interesting to see streamers interact either with a very active chat or a not active chat. Like I really kind of get sucked into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I feel really comfortable just like, hello, I'm here. You're welcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Also sorry, kind of.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
a good. I was just thinking. I read Bill's thing too about like the big emotes, but also I was
Yes.
thinking about
Yeah.
when you were saying earlier about like saving up the points, and
Yeah.
then when people are like,
Channel
"Wait,
points.
how
do you have all this?
do you have all these points?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, I've been here.
I've
been
been
hanging
here.
out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been watching. I've been
hoard
seeing."
those points so that when I want, especially
Yeah.
when we raid, because I like
Yeah.
also to model.
Yeah.
Monetary support is amazing, and I am lucky enough to be able to do that too for
Yeah,
people. But time is just as much a gift.
Right.
For sure. So being
Yeah.
able to demonstrate, and I like doing that as a surprise too, being like,
Yeah.
oh, you question my master lurking? I'm gonna redeem like one of the biggest, most obnoxious, or like a very disruptive points redeem, or like snail mail stuff, all of those things. I find that brings me endless.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just a fun
That's fun.
surprise to be like, oh, I've been.
Yeah. I've been here.
Oh,
I've been hanging out.
I've been here.
I've been around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like jumping into conversations.
Research.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
and
I
it,
see.
especially if it's
Also
somewhere I've
Andrea,
never been
look
before, I
forward
love
to
that.
Yeah. Yeah. When you can like interrupt a little bit of a flow or like
Yeah.
play along or.
Oh,
yeah.
you all know each other?
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm also here.
It's kind of like, okay, this is stupid. Also, it sounds narcissistic. It's not. Kind of like when I was a kid and I'd get a new toy, and the new toy would now be the queen of all the toys, and the last new toy is demoted to princess. I don't know. Anyway,
You think you're the queen and their favorite child?
The second
You're
let it
the
be known,
only
the second
person
kid
that
enters
could
the
say
chat.
that.
It sounds narcissistic, but it's not.
When kid enters,
But it's totally not.
love it.
No, it's right. No, that feels right. No notes. No notes. Skyby queen. Skyby queen.
Wait, do you want
Pointer
to
for chaos,
say
yeah,
that
that's
story
true.
directly to that camera again, please? Just for posterity. Just you want to? It's your show now.
You don't have to do
So-
anything Sean tells you.
So, you know, when I was a kid, I'd get a new toy, and that new toy would become queen of all the toys. And the last new toy would get demoted to princess. Not that they were less good, they're just old now. And when I come into a chat, I'm like, hello, I have the new toys.
It's even better the second time.
Yeah, I think that's how you should start when you go into mode. I'm not
This should be your first time
narcissistic.
chat.
Like this,
Hello.
I'm not being narcissistic, but
Yes.
I am here now.
Yes.
That's how you should do it.
That is.
I am your queen.
Hello,
I'm not being
I am the new
narcissistic.
toy.
But the queen has arrived.
Except that
I
I
am
am
your
also
queen.
Yeah,
notorious
I am
for
your
being like,
First time chat message. I love
I am
it.
your queen, yeah.
I tend to walk in and be like, hello, here are 3 messages, and then I disappear.
If you were old, you
Just
could not
stop.
be queen.
Yeah.
I'm the new person. All attention on me.
There you go, yep. hmm
That's really
Yeah.
funny. That's really funny.
Yeah.
And then just hang out, like go back.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go once and be like, man, I
We've
didn't."
talked before
Yeah.
about how much
You
it
gotta go
means when you raid and you can tell right away, like, oh, this is good. Like, people really like it. They're making friends. And then later I'll see, oh, like, people are in there. Like, I'll be back in a place and a bunch of people will have stayed, or like they fully have integrated and start their the joy that brings me when you every once in a while when you really get it right,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh yes, be best friends. Everyone be best friends. I love
Okay, look it. I have to address Greaser here right now.
Okay.
It says making friend. What's that? What the fuck, Greaser?
Shut
You
up.
have said that so many times in so many chats, and every time you're in there, everybody's like, "Oh, hi, Greaser, hi."
Nah.
The only person who's ever told you to fuck off is
Roasted.
me when you put me back to 0. But otherwise, what the fuck? Yeah, shut the fuck up. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody that
Literally
always has
everyone
said that in
likes
chat
you.
where they're like, I don't know, I don't have any friends. I'm like, shut, you're in a room with so many people right now and they all have said hello to you.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you gotta walk in being like, I'm the fucking new queen, yo.
Yeah. And in fact, Bragi in real life is just as cool as he is in a chat too. So stop it.
Yeah, stop
IRL,
it.
Brage? No way.
Look at right at him.
Yeah.
Look right at him.
Magic.
Yeah, boom. There you
I'll
go.
fight you.
Thumbs out.
Thumbs out.
Holy shit, that's how you know that's how you know trouble's coming.
Oh my
It's gonna give you a thumbs up.
I'm a good fighter.
I never
Andrea
thought that I
said
would
she'd
win a
give-
fight, but now
what
all
did
of
she
a sudden,
say? FFA or FAX? She was going to give
Jeff
you.
friends. Holy red
MMA?
shot.
MMA?
Just go up
We're gonna bring blood everywhere.
I went to a stream and there
Do
was
an
blood.
FFA fight. It's a fight.
Ladies, no. Andrea, come over. Teach us how to.
You're gonna have to come back to Canada, Andrea. Teach us how to fight.
Teach us how to.
And also how to Dougie.
Teaching how to Dougie.
And to
Teaching how
what?
Dougie. Teaching how to Dougie. Well, you don't
Dougie?
teach it. Yeah.
Dougie.
We'll watch the video later.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
The panda one, right?
Yeah.
Of just the
Of course.
panda doing.
Yeah,
Dougie.
absolutely.
Okay, not the
There's
original music
no-
video. No.
Now. Now.
who's in charge of this stream?
Nobody.
Oh,
Nobody. The
my
stream's
name is
over.
Danielle
I clicked end stream so long ago.
Right now.
That's
right
wise.
now.
That's wise.
No, nothing.
How do you
You said
determine
earlier.
chat borders when you want chat to be a safe, open place for topics, but you also don't want content that might be considered inappropriate or too mature and needing a content warning? I mean, Rain, I have maybe not a useful answer, but we have a hard don't or you're out. We have a real, and it's part of why I have a family-friendly stream is because I don't want to police that
Yeah.
line. I can't. I don't
Yeah.
have the bandwidth. I don't want the mods to have to do it because it's already a literal gong show. Which maybe isn't the most helpful. You've had topics get pretty
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah, we get into some deep conversations.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy it. I
Yeah.
think maybe that has a lot to do with like my feet being in yoga.
That's true.
And so I like a little bit of discomfort that allows for growth. And I kind of want to encourage it. I think that it's fun that I'm kind of whatever the fuck I am, like calling people boners and
Yeah,
snarking
yeah,
at them,
yeah.
and also having these conversations. What I was thinking about this week and about like leaning into that a little more is I saw it on someone else's stream, Geninator, where she has a graphic come up that says mute, and she pins a message that says, hey, we're talking about some conversations that might be a little bit deeper, and if you're not into it, you might mute the audio for now if you don't want this convo.
She's also someone that has a lot of like mature themes and graphic content in her artwork.
Yeah.
So she's got some really good stipulations in place, and her moderators are really good at if people are being appreciative of the artwork, that's fine.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
it's a slippery slope to,
Yeah.
you know.
I think that because I give lectures on philosophy, and there's a lot of personal stories that come from that sort of thing. I feel pretty used to like moderating a conversation that can get a little murky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wanna. I
You also
like
know
having a
your
space.
line.
I do know.
Like
my
you know your
line.
line. I feel like I know my line
Yeah.
You
too, and I have no problem
Yeah.
saying nope, don't say that here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
You know, and I like, and then if they do it again, boom, they're gone. Like I don't. There's no like middle ground. It's like, this is the line.
Yeah.
Here it is. It's pretty far compared to many,
Yeah.
but it's still there. And when you cross it, you know, and
Yeah.
if you don't respect it, that's fine. You'll see the door.
Yeah.
For
Like
me, when I
you know.
started this, the fact that I work the job that I have really impacts how I can move through
Sure.
the world and really impacts the kind of things that I can
Oh.
put
Yeah, yeah,
I see.
sure,
on
sure.
social media.
Sure.
So I do
Yeah.
feel this pressure to present content and present
Sure.
things that I can go to work and be proud of, that
Right, right.
all my students connect with me online.
Right.
So there's that, but I also just started this whole streaming thing out of the pandemic
Right.
when everybody was stuck at home. And I had so many friends who were like, I'm homeschooling my children and losing my
Yeah.
mind. And I'm like, okay, well, okay.
Here's some nice music.
Yeah, here, I'll distract them.
Yeah,
I'll
right,
do a distract.
right.
Come hang out. We're going to play music. And I hilariously logged on to the music, the internet, to play so much music. So I didn't think that I'd even have time to also give really important topics like the weight and the time that they deserve to dig into.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, that's all very well and good, but here's another song. It's Bushes of Love
Right.
by Bad Lip Reading. Like,
Right.
So it just kind of became like an escape place from all of that. And I want those very important conversations to happen and be dealt with in the way that they deserve and with the time and the energy that like trying to get through a music queue has never afforded me.
Right.
And hilarious that I'm still trying to log on to the internet and play music. It's very funny. It's a
One
funny
day.
joke.
You should try it.
We should try it one
I
day.
should try painting.
There was this one Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah,
No way.
in June 2020. It was great. Yeah, there was this one Wednesday. I played so much music. It was great.
All of the other streams sucked. That Wednesday in 2020 was great.
that was
I
the
didn't
peak.
say that it sucked. I just said I played
was
so much music.
Taking
Horrible.
notes.
One Wednesday. It was amazing.
Snuck on in the middle of the night.
I tried. I did a
With an
6
alt
a.m.
account.
stream and they made me play cowbell and there was still no music.
It was Patch's channel.
I did a 2 a.m. stream to get out of my hole. It didn't work either.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't work either.
That's not gonna work. It's
No.
not gonna work.
No.
I think you're one of the best examples I've seen of being able to
Oh,
put
thanks.
really
That's nice.
solid
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And I do
Yes.
think it comes from exactly as you said, knowing
Yeah.
where that line lies.
Yeah, and I think I even have somewhere on my about page like this isn't therapy. We're not therapizing each
Right,
other,
right,
but we
right,
can
right.
have these conversations that
Actually,
are
I think
expansive.
cartoon therapy is good at that too.
Cartoon therapy is
He's really good
excellent.
because he
Yeah.
is actually doing
Excellent.
social. Like he is a social worker.
Yeah.
He will cover topics. He does say very often that he's not. You know,
That we're
this is
not
not this is not therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yes, I have this degree. Yes, whatever. But like, here's some things that I I think that's interesting. But they're still bonkers and have a good time. But then also do talk about serious topics and. He balances it well, I think.
I agree.
I love that.
I thought Styx had a good question
Yeah,
there.
I was thinking that too.
Do the four of you know how many is active in your chat and how many is lurking?
You mean like, do we have the numbers up, or can we?
Yeah.
I think discerning between
I mean-
like the number, but there's no number that tells us how many
No.
people are lurking versus chatting.
You can click the little like list of people. I mean, it's not going to tell you who's lurking, but like you can look at the people who are in your chat.
That sounds awful.
Can you? Because I'm
Yeah.
just like 5 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh! Ah! So no, I have no idea what's going on.
No, I don't have any of that up.
Well,
I
but
don't
for
have any
new people that
numbers.
don't have 200 people that are chatting the
I
whole
don't have
time,
any
you
numbers
certainly
up.
can click. There is at the top of the chat. You can
Yes.
click that list
But
and
even,
see.
remember we talked about.
I don't think it's healthy. You shouldn't do it, but you can do it.
When I very first I got my streaming start in Lego with Kevin, and Kevin and I were streaming together, which there was a lot of things that I really appreciated about coming into streaming to the Lego community. Kevin really liked having the numbers up, and I really didn't. And it was a good thing to learn. That was like, I don't think this is good for me, and I watched it be fine for him. Like, I think it's a very personal choice.
But I don't think it was fine for him. I think that's a misconception, because I think if he was here, I think he would tell you that.
You think so?
I don't think I'm saying anything. I don't think looking at any numbers while you're doing any of this is actually very helpful.
I just don't know what I do with
not
that
live anyway. If you want to look at the numbers after, that's great. But if you're looking live and you're like, oh, the number's not, but I should keep doing it, or you're like, I should tap dance harder. Like, I don't think that's actually going to help.
We talked last time, or I think you and I had a conversation about.
Yes, Dix. I feel the same.
I can feel when it exceeds. Something happens when it surpasses like 100 active people in chat, and I don't know what it's like when it gets into the thousands. But I remember having a conversation with you about when it stops being.
Yeah.
I've moved past the capacity of being, and it's more like talking to the room as a whole and saying like, okay, friends, what do we think about blah blah blah? And I'm looking at the median answer as it goes by, and I can feel the difference in that, and it's a little tricky. And I haven't had the experience of, like, I've had rooms that feel really busy and really full, but I don't know exactly what number that happens at. I just know when all of a sudden like, I know that we're past that point where I'm missing stuff. I can't read I'm relying really heavily on the mods to tell me people are saying
that's
things multiple times.
Bill said a good. There's a line between community and an audience.
I find that tricky, and it's something I think about a lot, and I am constantly trying to stay rooted in the feeling of community, because that's really important to me. But I think Discord is a huge tool for still being able to connect with people, but I don't keep those. I don't know what I would do with those numbers. What am I going to do? Stream harder? I don't.
I don't know.
I think the only situation in which I found it extremely useful. So I do have the numbers up, and going through the Twitch music programs that I've gone through. Of course, there is the ability to look at the user list, and I know that, and I don't, because what would I do with that while we're live? And even if you do have a smaller community, and you can. Also, just think about the fact that what you should be doing is, if there's nobody in the chat, is I'm making YouTube content. I'm making content for socials. You don't need to know who's in the user list. And like Dermo was saying here, is like there's streamers who will literally call out lurkers, or like see people in the user list and start mentioning them. And of course, that makes people really, really uncomfortable. And if I think about how we watch streams, we got a million tabs open. It doesn't always mean that I'm actively able to chat at whatever I'm doing. Like, sometimes you're just like at meetings and you're just trying to be there to support your friends. So to everybody who lurks, my goodness, thank you. Because that's how you appear in so many different places. The algorithm loves that there's someone there. They can recommend streams to friends. They can put you higher on the discovery page. They can figure out things just based on you having that tab open. So I don't think it ever kind of pays off to have this mentality of like chatters versus lurkers. There's all these people who cared enough to open a tab, and that's completely wild. And sometimes I've worked with some music streamers that really have the view count open, and sometimes it is because of this program that they sometimes put us through. So they got those numbers open, and they're really obsessing over like how many people are in the chat and how many lurkers there are.
I don't know if that's healthy.
It's not healthy.
I don't think it's very healthy. To
the point, like, don't do that. But for me, the situation and actually seeing the numbers is really helpful when they're putting us through these front page rotations, because if I'm going from 100, 200 people to, all of a sudden there's 1,000. All of a sudden there's 3,000. So I know that might be like the 30 seconds they have me featured in a spot. So I know that I'm able to kind of go into, and I literally apologize to all of our friends whenever this is happening, because I'm like, this is about to be the most repetitive few hours of your life, because every 10, 15 minutes they're saying, you should be reintroducing yourself. You should be giving them X, Y, and Z information about getting in touch, because they're not able to see the chat. They're not able to see this. You got to click in and like, you want to be able to know, oh, by the way, that your content right now is for people who have never seen you before.
That feels like that's a different game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is it. The same as like if you're streaming to 2 people and you tell yourself, I'm recording YouTube content, you're doing a different thing. If you're on a rotation or they put us on a shelf or something where we're being shown, that's a different game. And then there's some middle ground where if we can connect with the community, even if there's lurkers, the way that a chat feels is a completely different thing to have. Like 100 people ignoring me is still being ignored. 20 people talking and playing the game and hitting and requesting stuff. Bless you, that's amazing. And like if you're lurking, that's awesome, but there
is something,
you're just doing something different.
That's something I
It's just a different
found
thing.
in the game world where like sometimes if I'm playing solo, like I can read chat and I can do, and it's a little bit more difficult because there's punching and blood and all that other stuff. And big bosses come at your face.
Everywhere.
But also you're trying to read a chat, which you can do, I think, pretty well on your, like most people, you can figure that out eventually. But when you start playing with other people, and that's where, like, you and I have talked about this before, where like sometimes
Audience
then I'm
versus
talking
community.
to like 3 other people and we're playing the game, so then I feel like I'm ignoring chat, so chat slows down. So then I'm not talking to people and I feel bad about that, but then my mind shifts, turns to like, oh well, now because I watch some game streamers that are playing with other people and I'm like, oh, now it's actually entertainment.
Show.
Like it's a show. You're watching. You don't necessarily want to talk to or don't need to, but like there still could be like 30 people hanging out doing nothing, like just watching. And it still feels bad because when you look over and you're like, oh, nobody said anything in like 5 minutes. But you're like, oh no, but they're watching. They're actively watching.
Exactly.
And so sometimes I find that the view count's actually energizing a little bit in that way. And for the music streamers that I found that really, really struggle with the view count, especially since like it's really encouraged that you have it on when you're going through those programs.
Yeah.
These are sometimes musicians that have never played a live gig. They've solely
Right.
streamed on Twitch, and I'm like,
Right,
okay, so
right.
you've never gone on tour and lost all your money and played just for the bar staff who felt so bad for you they bought your album. Like you've never done that. I was like, if there's 5 people here, that's absolutely incredible. So every time the view count's over 5, I'm like, whoa, 5 people wanted to see my show today. That's more than most of my gigs on tour. That's amazing.
There is something to be said for going through, we've talked before about like coming into a community where, because we started out on YouTube and we started out in Lego, there was this built-in community of even 20 people. I remember the first time we talked about like the room of 20, to start with a room of 20, and the
That's
way
amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I am forever grateful to every single one of those 20 people, because I think of the iceberg of Twitch that's like the tiny, 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 and people with 20 and up, and people with a million are all in here, and then the whole rest of that iceberg with one person or no one. Like, I don't know, it makes you appreciative. Whether it's
So if you're
putting on a show and people are watching,
Yeah.
you are a show, and
Yes.
the other
Yeah.
people you're streaming with become.
And you'll have people say literally like, oh, I've just got you up on the TV.
Yeah.
And so when I think about how I watch Twitch,
Yeah.
I can't always be in chat. Doesn't mean that I'm not happy this person's streaming.
True.
Doesn't mean I didn't take
True.
time out of my day to put them
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
They might be on the TV and like
They're
trying to
keeping me
type with your
company.
stupid remote. Like, they're keeping me company. I'm still listening. I'm still engaged. So
Often on
sometimes I find
Sundays,
like there's
I'm watching you on my phone. Like I have you on my phone while I'm doing something outside, you know?
It's just so sweet. And I do the same
You know?
thing. Cell phone, walk
for
around
sure.
the house.
Yeah.
I've like literally shoveled the driveway listening
yeah,
to
for
streams
sure.
before.
Yeah.
And so when you think about that, if you're finding you're equally discouraged of like, oh, not enough people are chatting, then sometimes turning on the view count and saying, oh, there's 12 people here right now watching me play a game.
Right.
Like, that's incredible.
Right.
That is more than most people will come to an Ottawa musician show, I guarantee you. So you're doing real good if you've got that amount of people hanging out.
That's interesting. Uru, I've often wondered how your streamers feel when chat's having discussions amongst themselves. I guess it depends what's happening at the time. I love it.
I love it.
I love it. Talk to
Everyone
each other.
be friends with everyone.
Everyone be best friends. You have your own.
Yeah.
It's
You don't
the
have to talk
same
to
as
me.
Discord.
I'm doing shit.
I don't have to be
busy.
in
I'm
every
busy. I'm
room,
doing
in
shit.
every
You wanna talk to each other?
conversation.
Go for
You're
it.
doing your thing. That's magic.
Yeah.
Some of the funniest, again,
Magic
like
to me.
streamer universe on the internet, somebody posts something clearly just for engagement farming, but it's just like, I hate it when people are in my chat talking to each other. Like, I'm the streamer. Clearly,
Right.
you have to
Totally
only
saw
talk
it.
to
Oh
me.
my
So
God.
it's very
Someone
funny.
and they replied back, how dare you talk about anything that's not me?
Wait,
I know exactly
did
what
that
you're saying.
was that streamer also saying that they were the queen, or is that
No, they were
anything
the
else,
princess.
or was that
They were the
was a different
friend.
They were the
imaginary?
princess.
Yeah.
I'm the queen.
Yeah.
Talk to me,
Yeah.
damn it!
New toy.
I know the community was to talk so much in
No.
French.
And then sometimes I'm playing music and they're talking.
Matt, I
I'm
love
like, I
you.
want to know what you're talking about. What's the joke? And I'll like scroll up after. I'm like, oh, that's very funny.
Yeah.
You're also funny.
Yeah.
I'm
Have
glad
your
I
own
read that.
time. I don't
Of
know.
course.
It's
Yeah.
I'm so happy to curate a room.
I think it's
Yeah.
really nice actually
Great.
to wander into a stream and see everyone is like having. We've talked about this before. That's nice
Yeah,
when people
find a
are
healthy
talking.
community.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like it's a
Exactly.
real community. Everyone likes each other. And
And I don't
Yeah.
feel like I have to be that to me encourages that community, not audience.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it
yeah,
really
yeah.
feels like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm up here, you sit silently, point at I don't
Right.
know. That's just not my thing.
I know,
That's
but
just
stop
not my
making
thing.
eye contact with me. Don't
I
do
don't
it. I
want-
don't like
yeah,
it. I
and
don't
like-
like the eye contact.
That doesn't and again I think that there's people who are playing video games at an Olympic level and they are the athlete and everyone's sitting in an auditorium
Yeah,
being
yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a
That's a
skills.
different stream.
That's a different thing.
That's a
Yeah.
different thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's
totally
what
fine. Different thing.
I think that's interesting for people to know too. Is like there are different ways to stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like streaming is not the same in every
Not
way.
at all.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you
Not at
are
all.
going to be the entertainer. Sometimes you're a part of the community. Sometimes you're the queen. You know, whatever. You know, whatever it is. But there is a different way to do the thing. It's not just one way.
Well, going back to the beginning when we were talking about like how you introduce
Yeah.
yourself in these different social
Right.
situations and real job and things. I've even struggled in explaining this job and saying like, oh, I'm a musician.
Sure.
Because
And then so you play music on like When I tell people that Brenda's like a streamer and an artist, they're like, so what does she teach people how to paint? I'm like, fuck no.
I've been like leaving the house sometimes now, and so I'll meet people
Yeah.
in the wild. They've been
No,
coming to
it's so
streams, and
hard.
they're like, I've had this friend
Right.
who came to 2 streams
So
this week, has not heard a
embarrassing.
single song.
Right,
I'm like, I'm
right.
so sorry, I told you. I play music on the internet. It's
No.
a lie, because I really feel like my job is not to be a musician, it's to
Yeah.
be a community builder. Like, I feel really like that is what
Sure.
we do more so
Totally.
than the thing we claim to stream.
Totally.
Well, I think that is like I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh, I just like back to like people talking. I'm like, I like that there's a space where on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. they can come and talk about whatever the hell they want while I'm trying to get out of the hole. You know, like that's an interesting. And that to me is like we're gonna meet at Cheers at 4 p.m. Right? We're gonna after work we're gonna go and meet at the pub, and it's like, okay, well you can do that on streams, and that's why
Yeah.
I think it's super important to do that, like to be regular, because it's like otherwise how do they catch your stream, you know?
Schedules matter.
Yeah,
Yes.
schedules matter.
Yes. Raven is
crazy.
sassy today, and I love it.
Very funny.
She's
okay?
been- I do.
Very
That's true, Raven.
We're
I
all very fun. We were talking about not
You should
even
see
just like
my
meeting
art.
people in person, and they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Hey, how's the weather?" or stuff. And
Yeah.
we were talking about like when you raid into another, and they're like, "What were you working on? Would you like to share the art?" Because that's a very normal thing for
Yeah.
another art or makers and crafting. Do you want to share? And I'm like, I would rather not. Can you please show me the thing that you're working on instead?
Yeah.
Uno reverso no takes these back.
Do you follow numbers
embarrassing.
in your chat? How does that affect you? Has it affected you yet?
No, I don't follow numbers
No.
unless I'm like I want to do something to like I don't know like promote something. Then I might be like, ooh, okay, we just got a raid. There's lots of people. Let's do this thing now.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, I try not to.
Yeah.
And the only time I look at the list of people who are there, if I'm like, oh, I really want to say something mean about Sean. Is Sean here? He's not. Fuck. Okay, well, I guess I can't
Sometimes
say
you
it.
do anyway. And then people send it to me and they're like, haha.
And sometimes it's Kim, sometimes
Preserved.
it's Jenny checking the user list to see
Yeah.
if I'm there, just
Yep.
so she can write things.
100%.
Yeah.
Too.
It's true. Yeah.
Same.
True. Same.
Same.
Same. Yeah. That bitch knows. She's looking.
That's really
Bye, Braggy.
That I think
Thank you for the alert.
is
Thank you
just
for the alert.
practical. Like if
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is a good time.
Yeah.
The same as you were saying, getting rotated on, but like that doesn't feel like, I think there's a difference between that and like having the numbers up and letting that.
Yeah.
That feels, I can't think of a time that would have been a healthy
No.
or helpful
Yeah.
thing to
Yeah.
do.
So
And maybe it
at
is
the
for some
beginning,
people.
I didn't know that you could turn the numbers off, and
Right.
so it was always
Yeah, yeah.
on. And
Yeah.
it's okay. So maybe it's a little bit of OCD, but I always have this thing about the number 5. If I check out a clock that is counting down, I've got it. I keep staring at it until it gets to 5, and then I can look away.
Oh,
Or
okay.
0.
Yeah.
And so anytime the number was like at a number that wasn't 5, I was like, please don't stare at that.
Yeah.
So why don't you
Yeah,
stop
right,
it?
right,
Don't.
right,
Oh my
right.
God.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
go by. I don't look at numbers, but I always appreciate when chat is actually chatting.
Hi, Nick.
Like I don't mind.
Yeah,
Like I love having
it's fun.
lurkers. So that's fine. I
Yeah.
love having that. But I wanna interact.
Yeah.
Good
So
to
I
see
want to hear whatever it is you're working on or what you're doing. Or
Yeah.
They're also
Whatever.
they're completely in charge.
It is tricky though
what I
when
plan
it
doesn't matter. So.
is slow. Like sometimes it is slow, and you're like,
Yeah.
well,
No
what am
one
I doing
has-
here?
we
You
get
know.
through a list
Yeah,
of things
I've
had
to do
that
while we're
moment.
Yeah,
live.
it's true.
Aspirational.
It's
There was
literally
this one
almost at the
time
end of every
in
stream
June of 2022.
I played so many songs.
I did a single Brenda item.
At the end of every stream, there's always like a little bit of mod sass on Discord where they're like, so you wanted to do all these things, do you want to
funny.
still? Like, should we remind you that
funny.
these are things you needed to do? And I'm like, yeah, I'm exhausted and I don't know what's going on. We're not doing
That's
that.
true.
That thing I said we were all going to do, because I send them a
Hey,
list
Nick.
before every stream. And they're like, yeah. And they all laugh. They're like, yeah, we're not doing any of that.
That's cute.
That's funny.
That's cute.
You and your plans.
That's really funny.
It is an interesting. It is a cross section though between like I think even the 4 of us, which is why I wanted to do this too, or part of this was like, I can have a slow day. I think you could still have a slow day. I don't think you're at points now where you probably don't have slow days ever. Like you don't turn the stream on and like things are going on, which is fine because we're all at different stages.
Yeah.
Which I'm very grateful
it's
for,
like-
and also it feels different.
Yeah.
It feels different.
But, like,
It
I've-
feels a different
I
job.
tell people all the time to appreciate like when it's
Yeah.
going slow and you have the
Yeah.
chance to like literally have a one-on-one conversation with so many people.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nice. And now sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you followed 12 minutes ago. Thank you. I love you. Anyways, here's that song I promised you an hour and 46 minutes ago.
We're
Right.
starting
right.
a sentence and then like and it's being like, wait,
Yes.
what even was I doing even?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I am grateful for
Yes.
it. Hi Nick.
I found that I
watched.
watched, there's a lot of streams that I really like to spend time in, and it's a very different vibe. Like, they don't necessarily talk a lot, and chat might still be going, or it might not, and they're still, like, I can see their numbers, and it's quite high, or it's medium, or whatever, and they're just doing their thing, and it doesn't seem to affect them, and so if I'm ever like, oh, it's been a few minutes and nobody said anything, like, that doesn't mean anything.
No.
Actually,
Right, right.
means nothing at all. How many
Yeah.
times have I just not had the energy to chat,
Totally.
even
Right.
though I've been totally engrossed in what's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah, for
you know?
sure.
Like,
There are amazing
Yeah.
streams that are like low energy, mic off, that I'm like,
Yeah.
this is wonderful.
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm soothed, and I've had many times. Hi, Kitty.
Kitty.
Many
And I'm
times.
so sorry. I mean, I might have played it 3 streams later.
The first
Yeah.
time I had a song because
Yeah.
never happened.
Right.
But it was still. It's on the list. It's still in the queue, Raven. Don't
It's in
worry.
the queue. I'll
It's
get
coming.
to
It's
it.
coming. 2024. Don't worry.
I don't think Brenda or Danny could have a proper slow day because they're always trying to do something if chat isn't. Well, but I think we do also both. Like, I always have a full plan for the entire time.
Oh,
I always have a
so many
goal.
things to do.
There's
Well,
so
me
many
too, totally.
things.
I plan everything constantly.
I have a plan to get to 100 and quit the fucking stream. It's my plan.
Just 5 more years.
It's my plan.
Love you, Andrea.
But it is, I've definitely been in streams that I'm like, this is a low, quiet, the mic's off, whatever, and I'm like, you are offering a wonderful
Yeah, yeah,
space.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I find
Yeah.
fascinating
Yes.
is sometimes I'll see those and like they have slow or like you know, those chats running slow, but then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go check out the YouTube, and they're like, oh, they have 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
like, and they're making it out of this content, you know, and I'm
Yes.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's crazy, and that's when I'm like, okay, if you don't have chatters, what else can you do with the thing, like you said?
Yeah.
Can you take this and put it somewhere else and cut it up, or make it YouTube, or
Yeah.
whatever? So it's not that it's time lost, but it's like,
It's
you know,
never time because
you can always use something. You're always learning
Go in
something.
with this list of things to do, and
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
this
yeah,
time
right,
is meant
exactly.
for. And then you're leaving a door open,
Right,
so you'll meet
right.
somebody who maybe you wouldn't have met.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I like beautiful multitasking, and that as a creative,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can get all this stuff done, and then maybe meet one person,
Right.
or maybe meet
Yeah.
200 people
Yeah.
who are screaming at you and trying to light your basement on fire.
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
You know,
Whatever happens.
Yeah,
Whatever happens.
so-
I thought we liked arson.
That's part of the.
It's very confusing. We do,
So
but just not for this very specific.
Got it.
circumstance.
Okay, got it.
I like arson and everybody else's.
Oh,
strengths.
okay.
Same. But that's also
No,
part
but
of
you-
that like
yeah.
community engaged art background
Yeah.
is the idea of like I come with an idea, I come with tools, I come with a plan, and you have a different plan. You want to do something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
care.
I'm okay with that.
Burn my plan to the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
You got a better? No problem. What do
Yeah.
you want to do? You want the stuffed chicken to take over?
Yeah.
The only thing you care about is setting off the alert over to get fine. That's fine. Your
Sure.
plan's
Yeah.
funnier than mine anyway. That's okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
community always has a better plan
Yeah.
than I do. I always have a plan. Your plan is always funnier and better and more interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love going into other people's spaces and being like, oh, you have an idea of what isn't
yeah.
that adorable?
At
That's
first,
great.
At first, I
That's
started
fun.
doing that just as revenge. It was like all of you
Yeah.
showed up here so
Yeah.
chaotic.
How
so
dare
every
you.
single friend who started streaming, I was like, well, I guess you're gonna have to deal with this. Good luck. It's you, but there's like 10 of us right now. Back in 2020, it was like 10 of us are gonna raid in and we're gonna get our revenge on you. And then we did Streamfest, and that just became like, oh no, there's many of us.
About Streamfest.
lighting everything
I
on
love
fire.
that Streamfest is just this constant vengeance cycle of like, ha here we are. And does that
Yeah.
30-minute, hi God, here we
Yeah.
are.
mhm.
Yeah, Brenda does it. Raven,
Yeah.
Matt, Joe. You're sworn to secrecy. This VOD will be deleted.
I've literally
It won't.
seen them.
It will.
There's words on
Big
it.
Dono! Whoa! Big Dono!
Odia is a safety hazard.
Wait, there's
who
things
doesn't listen
happening.
to anyone.
There's things happening on there. Can't share over. I'm saying things.
Quiet clubs. Quiet clubs. Odia's a gent. She'll be able to hear this.
Well, you can't. It's fine.
You're mean.
Don't worry about it. Why do you need to hear it? You don't need to hear it. You'll hear it in the VOD. They hear it. It's not for you.
The biggest.
For them.
Yay! Oh dear, you sweet wild riot. Speaking of people who ruin my plans.
Yeah,
and drive
thanks.
trucks
Nicely,
through
Dia. That's very nice.
Everything. Odia is a whole heckin' safety hazard. It's hilarious.
Well, that's
Dia's a problem. I've seen Dia be a problem.
Sea
That's
otter,
fun.
an adorable
Seen
little sea
Dia.
otter.
Thank you, Dia. I appreciate that. All of that money, all the money that comes in here, one, ruins my road to 100. Thank you very much.
That really ruined it. Good job.
That really ruined it.
That really
Absolutely.
ruined it.
That was gonna really. I'm gonna be well past minus 50 now.
Ruined it.
Oh, Raven
How
wants
good
to
was
know.
Sean?
Does that make
So
things happen?
good.
Yes,
Exactly.
Raven. Yes, it does. We
It
also.
ruined it. It's all Odia's fault, and it's not Sean's fault.
Nah.
It is for fucking. It is his fault. It's not my fucking fault. I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here. But it all goes to charity and helping creatives nicely.
No.
This space here, all this equipment,
true.
we give it out for free to
We do,
people, and
yes.
this is the way we do that.
do.
So I appreciate it.
Every time you
Make
make
Sean
eye contact
never
with
make
me
it
in
to 100.
frustration,
This
I feel
microphone.
like it's us versus
Road
them.
to
It is. It is us
Okay.
versus
Okay.
them. Why do you think I put you beside me?
Okay.
Two fucking snarkers versus these two lunatics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normal time.
Yeah, I need
Nice
another.
on this side, and then there's
normal
that
time.
side.
Yeah.
Turn their
Doing whatever
stupid
they're
thing
doing.
on.
Think we're what now?
Put their stupid thing on.
What there?
Look at
There, it's not
That
apple.
thing?
It's long.
That one?
Nice.
That one.
Thank you.
There.
These are they the Adventure Time one? Yeah.
We were talking about fucking earrings
I
now.
have a bunch of fucking boners.
This
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other in a while.
It's true.
It's just a little fucking stream and they're talking about
And the
your...
only thing in my
my
brain
God.
right now is camp, and I'm the worst to hang out
Well,
with
I knew
because I
that.
can't think. I know.
I
Sean's,
live here.
Sean's had to listen to camp planning relentlessly.
Thank you, Dia. That is hugely appreciative.
Kiki speaks truth.
Oh, Kiki,
and
thank
facts.
you.
Hi, Kiki.
Wow.
Hi,
Kim,
Kiki.
you are indeed magical.
I am magical.
Because nothing like this could not be.
Wait,
What?
what does that mean?
Was that a compliment?
Was it?
I don't
Totally.
know.
Wow.
What?
It was said in a tone that wasn't.
Dear
but
diary.
It
It's
was.
very confusing.
I'm even more confused than usual.
Dear diary.
Take it like you want.
Was I
Take it like you
insulted?
will.
Was I complimented?
Ah,
Okay, have you met Kim? She's 100% going to take that as a compliment, okay?
As she should.
Are you-
She probably
are
shouldn't.
you referring to the queen?
Yeah, the queen. The queen. The queen. Yeah, the queen. All right, I got another question. Big question. What are your favorite streaming tools?
Like
Anything.
Kit?
What's your
type
tools?
stuff?
Yeah. What's your favorite tools?
Oh,
You got
like-
nice tools you like?
oh, I see.
You go.
You know how you use tools to stream?
You go.
Yes. I like having a snark camera. I think having more than one camera is the best. I think this foot pedal thing is awesome. I want one.
It's very cool.
So
Can't be
badly.
yours. It's mine.
I want that. I'll take it home. Thank you. I'm royalty.
I will fight you to the death, and then I'll go to the hospital because I've broken my thumb like an idiot.
And I'll take the pedal home.
Everyone gets so upset when I do
all
that.
in.
They're
Oh
like,
my God, no!
You can't do that.
Shit.
They're
upset right
like
now.
I'm ever gonna throw a punch in my life. Like I'm ever gonna.
You
punch
100%
someone.
would have. One of the first times
I
Dan
know,
during
right?
pandemic, Danny came over here and she kicked
If I
me.
heard that, I'd be like,
Danny kicked
what
me.
predicated
Holy
that?
shit.
Yeah, that's right.
God damn.
Weston wants to
What
see
are you
ginger on
doing?
ginger violence.
She wants to. Seriously.
No.
Oh my God, that's a good
Question.
question,
It's like club.
Poor Andrea.
What do you think the studio is, Andrea?
First rule of Canadian Fight Club is we're sorry.
Sorry.
One time, I used to take taekwondo, and I was sparring with this dad, and his kids were nearby watching us spar for our next belt, and I kept punching him and landing and knocking his glasses off, and each time I'd be like, oh, sorry. And then Master Koo, who was grading us, was like, you don't have to apologize. And then I would do it again and apologize. It was like, you still don't have. Okay, that's
so
fine. Keep going, I
That's
guess.
so funny.
love
Anyway, I got my belt and I won.
Good job.
Nice.
Thank you.
The queen.
Obviously.
Foot pedal.
Foot pedal is what I want.
Which you don't own, so it's not your favorite. You don't own one.
Okay.
Think it's cool.
My God.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Double camera. Snark.
Double
Double camera,
camera,
yeah.
double camera,
Double
yeah.
camera.
That
Stream
makes
Deck.
sense.
for
Would you ever
sure.
add more camera? Would you add like a
Yes.
third, fourth?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, okay.
I would have so many.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
And
that should be a goal.
okay, I guess
on
that's
your
my
stream.
goal. Yeah, to have more
More
cameras.
multi-cams.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
everybody
Cameras.
follow Franco on MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah, Franco said his. He's like, mine's MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Is my
Yeah,
favorite
Franco
stream.
streams on
I want
MySpace.
that
Yeah.
with my entire
Yeah.
Like,
And his website's made on GeoCities.
Time.
cat.
Brenda doesn't want a foot pedal.
I'm Kim, by the way. I'm Kim. Kim.
No, Kim said that. Are you saying we all look alike, Rain, just because we're all redheads?
How dare you?
Danny is an honorary redhead. Those are good, Kit.
And a fatigue mat.
Multiple cameras.
And a fatigue mat?
to stand on.
Yeah.
Oh, to stand
A
on.
fatigue mat,
Very
I think.
nice.
That's
Yeah, I could use a
nice.
fatigue mat while I'm doing this goddamn stream.
That is
You're
nice.
sitting on your ass.
Fatigue
What
mat.
the-
Yeah, but look at how much fatigue I get.
It's the way, and it's right at the because the
yeah.
stools are beside it, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, necessary.
What's okay?
Okay, who's next?
There, yeah, favorite stream tools?
Easier to smack
What do you
and
like?
fun to moan. I'm not streaming. No,
Stream Deck.
I'm not doing any
Stream
of
Deck?
that.
More Stream Decks. Do you have
Oh,
one?
Dia. Don't.
Yes, but I had another
Specific.
one for when I was doing like art game streams because I was too scared of doing art in front of people.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
I might do more of those one day when I work less.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's amazing what you can do. And I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that
yeah.
I haven't even cracked like 20% of what
Right.
the Stream Deck can do. But just
Sure.
the fact that everything's like, I feel really uncomfortable when I have to stream without one.
Mm.
If I don't have just like the
Right.
click of a button for everything, I
Do you have how many multi-action buttons do you have where like you push one and it like does many
so
things?
many.
Because that I feel like is still
Chaos
very new to
time
people, where it's like I feel like many people know like how to change a scene and stuff like that, but there's
Yeah,
so many
sure.
more deeper
Yeah.
I
things.
only got it because I wanted the multiple cameras. I love that you could kind of see what people were doing musically, and I was learning a lot by watching some of my friends that had multiple cameras, like see how they were interacting with different pieces of gear, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. I think people would like that. So I wanted the 3 cameras, but I was like, how are they just like, it's rotating on its own. How is it doing that? So Stream Deck, multi actions. You set a delay in between. It just rotates between, and that's been so much fun.
That's
and
awesome.
then for things like special segments that you have,
Yes.
like Chaos Time, it's the multi action,
Right.
and that it's
Nice.
literally enabling everything,
Right.
and then switch it back off. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Uh,
Raven, I love that.
yes, Raven, I do need a fatigue blankie, and we have
That's-
many weighted blankies here.
Raven, it's a problem.
I could get one
Okay?
just to throw on
Raven,
each of them.
Your buttons
Like
have-
birds.
are an issue.
Nighttime now!
I'm concerned about how many buttons Raven has.
Also, there was a question, there
Very
was a
funny,
comment
Drumbo.
about who
my
said
God,
you
you're
had
all
Kim was still in the single
sassy.
monitor as the last check-in. You now have multiple monitors.
I do. I now have 2 monitors.
You have 2 monitors.
Thank you.
Update.
Thank God,
It's
good
nice.
update.
Your new setup
Yeah.
is nice. It's
I'm
coming
pretty
along.
happy. Yeah,
It's good.
it
Well, it was
is,
nice
yeah.
to take everything apart, probably,
Yes.
and then like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you got
Definitely.
to put it in like a way that makes sense for what you're actually doing now.
Yes.
Which is,
Yeah, and I feel like every stream you're like, okay, this isn't the most efficient. Something has to, I don't know what, but something doesn't fit here.
Yeah,
Takes a long
right.
time.
Yeah.
But
That's
even
such
you're
just a
talking
long
about
time.
like playing
Yeah.
a game and watching chat at the
Yes.
same time, that can be hard.
Yeah.
Like your setup makes a huge difference on your ability. So sometimes
Right.
you'll see somebody and you're like, how are they keeping track of
Yeah,
all this
yeah,
so
yeah,
well?
yeah.
It's just because like the monitors are so close.
Right.
Game is right here, chat is right here, like it's just
Yeah.
right in front of you where you need it. Now with 100% more
Yeah,
monitors.
that's what I was like. 100% more monitors.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's a really funny
I
thing.
gotta say it's daunting to like completely, I think we've all done it, take your entire
Oh,
stream
it makes me
setup
so
apart,
nervous.
but then
What
to be
plugs
able
into
to like,
anything?
to be able to rebuild and move everything and put it in a way that's like, oh, I've done this now, so now
Yeah.
I know what I need. It's like really nice. So if anybody is stopping themselves from completely changing their stream setup, 'cause you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's so scary, many things to do. Throw out all your furniture and move the things the
Throw
way
out all your
that feel better.
furniture.
Yeah.
But having
Yeah.
dedicated streaming spaces is also a huge luxury and
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
that we are
Yeah,
very
for sure.
privileged to have. The way that we can
Yeah.
dedicate everything about specific
Yeah.
spaces
Yeah,
to
yeah.
streaming, I'm conscious of the fact that that is a very particular,
Yes.
Yeah.
unique circumstance, and
Yeah.
I don't know how I would do my stream without it, but that's because it sort of grew into
Right.
that and became what it is, and the tools that I have mostly were added out of like, oh, this is a problem that I have to fix or at least improve on. So
I sometimes see people like streaming in certain spaces and they just think that they need to keep that space the way that it is.
Yes.
And they feel really anxious about even moving the desk a little
Yeah,
bit so that
yeah.
it would feel a little bit better for like
sure.
how it is you use the space now. Like it feels like you designed your whole place
yeah.
and then you started a stream. And then streaming is this afterthought, like, well, the space needs to stay the same because this is typically how it was used. And now you're like, well, I don't use it for that at all anymore. I just use it to
Right.
scream at the wall in my
Right,
basement. Like,
right,
why?
right.
Yeah.
the things that I
Right.
use the space for are totally different.
Yes.
You know, one thing that I think, well, one, you have a second monitor now, which, you've had that for a while, but
Yeah, 3 monitors. But
yeah, but I mean, connected
4, I
to,
guess, if you count my iPad.
but connected to the PC.
To the PC, there's 2.
Yeah, and I think one small, like even the smallest thing, like putting the arm on the monitor to get it up
Yeah.
off the desk,
Yeah.
to just be able to like float it so that you have the desk space. Like you can never have enough desk space, I find.
No.
I feel like, because as you acquire more things, you're like, where the hell do I put this? How do I put that? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I do like. I think probably the best, like, tool, I guess, for streaming.
Need room for cardio,
like
yeah.
hardware. Yeah, I need room for
Yeah,
cardio.
yeah.
Legit, the way that the room is set up to have some spaciousness, because the way that like, remember? Yeah, I was just gonna. Franco read my mind. Remember when you had that big table
Yeah.
behind? Like
Yeah.
when I started streaming, I was in a different studio, and the room was like half the size.
Yeah.
And the way that it feels different to have space to you do
Yeah.
the exact same thing, like you're occupying that entire room, and to be able to like step back and walk away and I don't know, I really like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I find that
been
very
like
helpful.
completely life changing. But that space originally was like, this is my work desk.
Right,
Yeah.
This is a
right.
guest bed.
Yeah.
This is a shelf with things on it, but I didn't want to be filming the guest bed and the shelf with things on it. So then I was like, okay, well, no one's sleeping in the stream space.
Yeah.
No one's coming
Yeah.
here at all, and I'm alone and not going crazy at all. Let's get rid of all the furniture.
Yeah.
So you have just the room that you need. So for me, it took me a really long time to do that because I was kind of just like clinging to this idea that like this is the way this space was set up originally, and I need to keep it just
Right.
in case one day. And I'm like, no, all I'm gonna do here is this thing that I love doing. So I think sometimes we also feel like we can't attribute that much space to this thing that we love so much. So yeah.
Also, nobody started out with that many tools. So I did always want to preface that, like,
That took a
I
long
wouldn't have
time.
half the tools I had if I didn't have a video production company.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I didn't start with all that stuff. You don't need all that stuff. It's just fun sometimes to. I just thought it'd be nice to talk about some of the equipment. Also, software. Is there any software that you guys use or like
I
or
don't know
that help?
how it works, but I know StreamerBot solves
Yeah.
a lot of my problems. I'm not allowed
Yeah.
to touch it. It's in a part of the stream setup that I literally get kicked out of. If I
Right.
go into that scene, it goes to an angry mod warning where Cause comes up and says, "Get out of my room!" And it kicks me out because
Right.
I'm not supposed. But I know that there's a bunch of stuff in
Yeah.
there that's fixing
It's very helpful.
all the it's great. Does
Yeah.
voice commands and stuff, and I have no similar to the Stream Deck. I know that it is complex and powerful and amazing. Don't know how it works, but I
Yeah.
love that it does. It's awesome.
Oh, you know, one physical tool that I think is not people don't consider as like a tool is a tension rod and a curtain.
Oh, sure, for
Like,
backdrop.
Sometimes that's
Sure.
all you need. Like if you don't have a ton of space or you have something weird that you want to hide behind or whatever, and it's like, you know, a curtain and a rod do wonders. Like I still
course.
laugh at like somebody like Saikuno, who's a big video game
Yes,
streamer.
that warehouse thing.
No. I'm talking about Saikuno, who just
Oh,
has
I'm thinking Sushi Dragon.
Yes.
who just has like a privacy screen, you know, that just opens up. Yeah, Kim had a tension rod work? That's great. Okay, great question, Andrea.
This is important.
Do you want to answer?
It's important.
Do you want
It turns out.
to look right at her? Only if you want to. You don't have to. This could be your snark cam.
It turns out that when somebody says you twist it, that's the same thing as turning it. And so you just keep turning. They were like, just twist it. And I was like, I'm twisting it. Nothing's working. No, you keep it. Turn it.
Give me eye contact.
I didn't realize that turning was the same as twisting. If you had said twist and keep twisting, maybe. But
It's your
you
fault,
didn't.
boner.
Oh, you got a
It's your fault, boner.
smack. You got a sock puppet smack.
So there.
That is really entertaining.
Also, listen, I am the biggest boner in the room. We all know I didn't choose this boner life. This is who I am. I am the brand.
Truly.
I can't help
Who
it.
you are.
That's
Who
true.
you are.
Deep in my
You
fucking
killed Andrea.
blood.
Dead. Dead.
That's so hard. Kitty felt it so hard.
That's really
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The boner life chose me.
funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Legendary.
Very good. Yep. You love. Yep. Great question.
Those are all
Oh,
really
boy.
great points.
I do have one last question. If this is the time where if anybody wants to ask another question, we can throw it in here. But I do have one last question before we roll out, unless chat has more questions. And then, of course, we have our little segment. Chat says the darndest things.
The darndest thing.
The darndest thing.
That's true. How do you and can you take a holiday? Being that this is like geographically, like this job doesn't require you to be in a specific in geography or really in a specific location, even if you don't have all your tools. Can you, how do you take holidays? You don't know, you can't answer. Is there anybody else?
Honestly, you're the only one I know that's had to take time, and I know it wasn't a vacation.
It wasn't a vacation.
But you had to take time away, and
What's
I
your favorite one?
can't answer that. I
Question.
haven't.
Get out of here.
I've been doing Monday,
Your
Wednesday,
license last
Friday
check-in.
from the get-go, so I
Yeah.
don't know if I have a great answer
For me,
to
it's
that.
just health related things, and
Yeah.
even through that, I've
hardly a
still tried
vacation.
to be streaming once a week.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum. And
Why? Talk about why. Like, because I think a lot of people are
Yeah.
afraid that they're gonna, if they're not on, they're gonna disappear. Do you
I
guys have
think
that fear?
one especially is because I was incredibly ill for 2 months,
You have
and
that
what we do requires our
What do you
voice,
think?
right? So if you don't have a voice,
That was a very real.
pretty,
Yeah.
And it was through
that
something
sucked
that I'd
so
seen
much.
so many fellow streamers, so many fellow musicians, like, not be able to recover from. Like, going and having to have surgery and having to have all of these treatments for their voice because they had lost their voice catching this thing. So it was like a lot of really real fear, and I think that the reason why it's so hard to take a break is because you just feel like this thing that you worked so hard for and that you've worked so hard to build is fleeting.
Right.
And I think
Kitty's
all
asking,
creatives
like,
feel that way.
Yeah.
That if you disappear, then it's just done. Like, this is it. Like, if I can't possibly maintain
Sure.
this 3 stream a week schedule, which, by the way, is completely and utterly exhausting. Like you put it all out there in those few hours that we're live. Like, it's everything that you've got.
Pretty all in.
It's all in.
Full out.
So those days in between, I think the other problem is I'm also usually teaching. Like, this was my first kind of week where I got through teaching and Blues Fest, and now I finally got to, like, rest according to my definition of rest. And I feel like I have so much time, which is crazy because I've been trying to power through all these projects and get caught up on all this admin and everything that has just gone by the wayside for months since I've not been feeling well. So I feel that so much, Kitty. It's like, how do you take those really long breaks for health, and how do you prepare to come back? The best that I could is I had to take a couple of weeks. There was no choice. I literally couldn't get out of bed. And then I had to ease back into it. And I think that's really important, is when you're coming back into it, is listening to your body. So coming back in and doing that once a week and seeing, okay, I would do that stream and I wouldn't have a voice for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And then, okay, my voice has started to come back. I'll do another stream. And it's really hard because you go live and you miss it, and you had fun, and you finally get to catch up with everybody and see everybody. So I'll go live and be like, oh, I'll just go real fast.
Yeah.
Just be
Real quick one.
Quick 1 hour
Just
check
quick
in.
little,
When I say I'm going to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
a pop-up.
Yeah. Just a
Every
little-
time Brenda's like, I'm gonna just do a small little morning
Pop-up.
announcement
No
pop
one will be
up.
up now. It's
I'm
like
like,
7 in the morning. No
great.
one will be there.
You're gonna be on for 3 hours. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna leave. I'll come back later. Like,
Yeah.
You did
Ugh.
a actual
you took a break.
forced
Yeah.
break.
Yep, I disappeared for a month last month.
But you also kept communicating with your fourth wall members, and when you came back,
Yeah,
the room was there.
yeah, it's
I
true.
don't know if did it feel different when you came back, or
No, actually, it felt fine and good, and I think that had I not taken the break, because I needed it, like I
Yes.
couldn't function as a human.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Feelings.
Yeah.
You can't have feelings. No, that's not true. You should feel them all.
But you can't bring them all on
But
stream.
you can't bring them all on
Yeah.
stream. Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, you
I
can,
think like
but I don't think it's helpful.
I think it's really important to do the things that you have to do to function. And
Yes.
sometimes that means
Yeah.
I have to sleep for 12 hours
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 nights in a row. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I can't have like I in June it felt like there was like lead weights in my blood. I just like could barely walk. It was a tough month.
Yeah.
yeah.
Coming back to streaming was it felt fine. It felt good, and I came back because I missed it.
Yes.
And I was
Yeah.
excited to come back as opposed to like,
It felt that way in your room
okay, I'm
too.
just gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And like I was emotional. The last
Sure,
stream
sure,
before I
yeah.
like was
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
my affiliate anniversary, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
okay, bye. See you later.
Yeah.
But it was still joyful. A lot of it was
Yes.
still joyful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the thing, is that I think that you can feel those like really heavy things and the good things at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah,
okay because you're a
absolutely.
human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have never, years ago, before we became glue, we were out for coffee and we met up with I was just thinking about this week, which is funny. We met up with somebody who I had never met before. And he was talking about what's that thing when a ball rolls down a hill? Momentum.
You twist it! You just twist it! I'm the queen! Fuck. Okay, yeah, momentum. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I really believe in that when it comes to our careers as human beings. Like, I don't think that's fair. I think that we're always doing this. Yeah. And I think that if we don't learn to go with the flow, then those become really dramatic. Yeah. And the lows feel like we'll never get out of it, and the highs feel manic.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just think like I'm not gonna just be obsessed with the momentum of constant growth, because that's not really how things work.
Yeah.
So
I continue to learn from Kim. Just go to Kim's stream. I continue all
the time.
Yeah. So I feel like I did the responsible thing, taking a break, because it was good for me, and I don't want to bring. Not that you have to always be your best self, but I want to be the person that I want to be.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
And
you don't want to bring the bad to stream.
And I'm a human being, and we all know that I talk about how much I mess up at things. I don't remember the word for, you know, like I think I'm pretty genuine with who I am, and the only way I can do that is to listen to when I need rest and take it and not apologize for it, because that's kind of, you only have this one meat suit, and we gotta honor it. It's like it's picky and fragile, and it holds all of your feelings. And like, if you don't listen to what it's telling you, it's just gonna force you into a 3-day coma. I say to the other side of the room.
Just keep ending up there to the other side of the room. I know, and I just keep ending up there, and it's that feeling of the momentum and the fear that drives a lot of what I've done my whole life. You know, I have some therapy to do. But I think when you're saying too that there's there's like, oh, I'm gonna fight you so hard. I think that there's, oh my gosh. Don't get emotional. It's fine. It was Sean, I didn't tell you to cry. Just try
Yes, you did. I want everybody to cry. You make my life hard. Now you all have to cry.
Andrea, I'll show you how.
The thing is, like, if you take a break and that momentum changes, it just changes. That doesn't mean that you're never going, like, it's just like, what an interesting thing.
I know.
That it's just the path has moved
so
a little.
easy for me to say this to literally everybody else, and to show everybody else the patience and grace that I don't show myself.
Yeah.
But what's made it easier, and you're talking about like these joyful feelings, is the fact that like no matter whether it has been my body being like, no, I will not anymore. Oh. It's just really incredible that like you still have this community. You still have all these people. Because that's not the case here in Ottawa, right? If I disappear, I have nothing to show for myself. If I'm applying for things, well, what were your last shows? Where did you go? What tours? So like you can't stop. So it's been really nice to have to be like forced to take some of these health breaks, and like I come here and they have these fancy chairs for us.
I was worried about your back.
Fancy chair. Hey, excuse me.
I want you to
Excuse me, I put the fucking chair up. What are you talking about? What do you take credit for my putting the chair up? God damn it.
Yeah, so it's just really special, and that just goes to show
I give you full credit for the chairs.
All these conversations around community, like it's really special what all these people here today do for so many of us as well.
Yes.
And just helping to get over some of those fears that of course you're facing, but know that no matter what like position you are, or how long you've been doing something, or how long you've been doing this creative journey, like you still have a lot of the same fears, you still have a lot of the same anxieties. So it might look like we go live and everything's fine all the time and we're just super happy people and nothing's ever wrong. It's we're humans just like you, so all those fears, all those things you're feeling, like I really love that we have these talks, because we're all going through it all the time.
I think one of the things is like communicating with, so like you can really communicate with your audience or your community, right? And like I think sometimes that gets missed. I've seen people disappear for too long and not communicate anything. And it's like, you don't need to stream, but I need to hear from you a little bit. You don't have to tell me your whole life story. You don't have to tell me what miserable things happened to you or what health thing is happening or whatever. But I just need to hear like, hey, I'm going to be away for this period of time. And I can be like, okay, cool. I can reconcile that, you know? But if you do disappear, I do, as a viewer, sometimes I'm like, well, what happened there?
Yeah.
And how come, I don't matter? So I do think that matters. I think communicating, or even communicating through someone else if you can't communicate, like having someone in your community say, hey, this person's going to be taking this amount of time. And Brenna, you and I have talked about this before, but like preparing an amount of like either replays or having some kind of content. Like if you
I have
know,
breaking case of glass
if you can
content, for sure.
prepare, like,
I have a lot of
okay,
that.
I know I'm going to take 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off, and it's not health related, it's not sudden, it's, it's like, okay, I'm going to make all these pieces of content, right? And they're going to trickle out. They're going to be timed, they're going to be scheduled. That's
we had to
nice.
do some of that future
That's nice.
planning when the Patreon got to be big
for
enough
sure.
that I was sending out like a couple hundred pieces of mail every month.
Yeah.
And I have to have it planned like
Yeah.
a solid half a year in advance so that
Yeah.
if something happens, if I get sick, if I'm not on the ball, I have all of that stuff
Yeah.
banked and ready
Yeah.
to go. But I do still think to your point, I still don't feel like I have as good a relationship as you do, Kim, with the idea of like a change in momentum is just that, a change.
Yeah.
It is just a change. And I also don't think, I feel really lucky that the experience that I've had on Twitch has been pretty, I've felt like I've had a bit of a second to, okay, this room's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit, okay, I need more help. I'm gonna, I definitely need another mod.
Yeah.
I need a bit more help. I need another mod, but it has felt manageable, which I think is a different experience than, like, you had a little second to be like, oh, what is streaming? Oh, okay, move on. And that's very
It
different.
was literally 0 to 60.
0 to
in,
60.
like, it's 4 months, yeah.
And that time, those incremental steps, like I think you've done a lot of like a backfill of like get the infrastructure and stuff, but that similar to when we were talking about like you can be doing different things when you're streaming. I think that's almost a different, like coming in with that knowledge of momentum, getting a bit of time with the momentum and like, it's all well and good, but how would I take a break? How would I take care of myself versus 0 to 60? I feel like those are all very different.
But I also
experiences.
like what you're saying too about and having that content that's ready to go and that it's scheduled and things.
Yeah.
In case of
Because
whatever.
when I had like it was 3 months last year and now like I'm still not well, it's still ongoing. I don't know, like even agreeing to this a little bit ago, I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to walk out. So I'm gonna do my best and I'm just holding back on committing because nothing like kills me more than being able to get to the day and I'm like, I'm sorry I can't.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm letting everybody down as opposed to just agreeing to nothing in case I'm not okay.
But also,
what's
you know
got
what?
me
If you
through.
wouldn't have been okay today, we would have been like, that's okay. You heal up.
Yeah.
And then we would have done the
But
thing.
it doesn't feel
And it would
that
have been
way.
okay.
It doesn't feel that.
No, I know it doesn't feel that way, but I think
Yeah.
that's a lesson to learn of like, had you woke up this morning and been like, holy shit, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
None of us would have been, I might have said it to you, but I wouldn't have meant it. I would have been like,
I know you well
I'm like,
enough.
what the fuck, Danny? But I wouldn't have meant it, and I would have been like, that's okay. I think we need to also be okay with that because I think every time we do these breaks or whatever happens, we feel like we're not only letting down ourselves, but we're also letting down now 200 people that are watching on stream. And you're like, you're not letting down 200 people. 200 people are going to be okay.
I feel very
You know what? They're going to go outside and they're going to breathe fresh
And
air,
the
or they're
amount
going to
of
watch another
people-
streamer, and that's going to be okay. You're doing a favor, maybe.
That say, we're gonna be
They're not
fine.
gonna go
Like,
outside
stop.
and breathe
Why are
fresh
you
air.
apologizing? Why are you like
Yeah.
making it? So just take the day off. And so it really means a lot when you say those words, when you do those things. And I think they were saying in the chat too, like Discord, like you're talking about
Discord.
communication during those breaks.
Yeah.
Even during all of my health breaks, we always have consistent Discord events. And I'm normally trying to plan out content at least a month in advance because I don't know what's going to happen. So along the way, we did run out of recordings after 2 months because we had 2 months scheduled when I got sick. and we ran out of recordings. So it's like, okay, let's go into the vault. Let's find some weird
Sure.
stuff. And it actually worked out pretty cool because I had to get creative. Like, I can't sing. Let's do our first instrumental music track and see
when
what
you made the
happens.
second channel too and started doing some of the art streams?
That was
I
just
remember
before.
that, and you were
Yeah.
like, well, we're gonna, this way I can do kind of like
And that was just for more vocal rest, just being
Yeah.
able to rest a little bit more, and then everything just like, oops. But yeah, communication when you're on break, having stuff that's still happening on Discord, and then having content that's ready to go for those
Yeah.
different platforms. It takes a lot, and just along the way, even if it's not health related, even if it's not I'm taking vacation, once a month, just like I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna schedule a bunch of this stuff.
Yes.
And then it's not always in the back of your head of feeling like super overwhelmed of like, oh, I have to go live, but I need a live notification, all these other things.
Setting up all of those things in advance,
huge.
having stuff scheduled to go live on YouTube, having content like backlogged for the
Yeah.
break glass in case of whatever, having evergreen stuff that you know won't.
I prefer to
Be
break
time
in case
specific.
of glass.
Oh, breaking
Yeah,
case of
yeah,
glass.
yeah.
That would accept the first one. Yeah. If there's glass,
There's glass, break
break
this.
it.
Yeah.
What do they do? What's that? There's a wedding that you
Oh,
stomp
fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, you two
on
are
the,
friends, yeah.
That. It's like that. Hi,
Yeah.
Lemony. Hi, Neo.
Hi, nice to see you.
Oh, hi,
Okay, we got
David.
some follow-up questions, and then we're gonna do chat says during thing, and then we're gonna leave. Kitty, how do you plan a comeback? Like, do you plan to come back? Like, I mean, while you're having that, I mean, we kind of talked about that a little bit, but.
Was your room different when you came back? Kim said no.
No.
Did you feel different?
But like, do you plan to come back, or do you just come back?
I don't know. I haven't had this experience. I
Yeah.
can't speak to
Yeah, I
that.
guess it's hard if you're not.
I was
if you
still
haven't done
trying
it
to
yet.
consistently do
Right.
weekly, so it didn't really
Right.
feel like a comeback.
I'm, like,
And when
slowly
I started
kinda
coming
coming
back,
back,
just
yeah.
slowly come back. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
now we're gonna add the second stream
Right.
and see if I'm feeling okay, and then we went back to normal, and that was it. But
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
remember
Yeah.
knowing when both of you planned to be. I remember feeling for both cases of like, oh, this is the amount of time, and like whether that plan stays or not. I remember both feeling like, oh, I know what
Yeah.
the deal is. I know what's going on.
For me, I think it was like, okay, let's just make sure things work.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Here's
yeah.
a test.
Totally.
If I make it through like 2 hours, that's going to be a huge win.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, I'm going to come back because like now I want to try to have a normal stream.
Yeah.
And then I got yelled at about what's your schedule, and I was like, God damn it, I'm not ready. Okay, this is my schedule. Okay, you're right, I'm ready.
It was
Fuck.
almost exact. It sounded just like that. That's actually exactly the tone on both. That's
I
perfectly
do yell
accurate.
every now and
I
again,
know,
yeah.
I know, yeah.
It's true.
I've heard it, yeah.
You're like, but I can't possibly make a schedule. I was like, you can. The fuck you
I think
talking
if
about?
you-
You live.
Usually when you yell something, as soon as I start to say something, because I'm like, don't yell at me, I'm the queen. I'm like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's the worst part. He's right.
Yeah.
Stupid Sean being
I think
smart.
if you're coming
Awful.
back from a health break, Kitty, because I think it was Kitty asking
Yes,
that.
yeah,
And what's
yeah.
for
Yeah.
health?
Then
Yeah.
ease into it.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't
See
come
how
back to your
you're
normal
feeling.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, if you're feeling well and everything's fine, you're excited, you want to throw a big party, you can throw
Sure.
a big party.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
it'll be very well attended. People will be very excited to see you again.
Sure.
But if that's not the case, then just,
Yeah.
I'm going to go live. We're going to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of the pressure off, because sometimes if you want to plan a big comeback, then it's, I
Right.
feel like I have to deliver on things, like
Yeah,
my
yeah,
to-do list.
Yeah.
Right.
What I actually
yeah.
found
Right.
really helpful was that I
Imagine
like Brenda had
together.
said, I had shared with the fourth wall members.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I was
right.
like,
yeah, that was your ease
okay,
in.
here's what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like, I
was
don't
your
want to,
ease.
I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about all the stuff that's happening when
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on stream. So hey, you're kind of like the core of this
Yes.
community.
Right.
So it would mean a lot to me if when we start to
There's
come
tone
back and
setting.
people start asking questions, I would love it if you could help me navigate
Yeah.
this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
lovely.
without and that felt like, okay, now I have like I have some people who
Yeah.
get it and they can kind of be my little buffer a little bit, which was so helpful.
Yes.
Incredible. Thank you, fourth wall members. I love you so much.
Yeah.
The Kimbers, you're so cool. I love you.
Bill asked, "What's the hardest thing not to do when streaming?"
Eat.
It's the hardest thing not to do. Yeah, eat.
I want to eat all
Right.
the time.
Yeah, you're like, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
And only whenever you
And
start
all of a sudden,
streaming.
sometimes we're like live for 5 hours. I'm like, how do we get here? Where does the time go? I'm so hungry.
That's really funny.
I'm trying to make my tummy quiet, and
That's really
sometimes
funny.
the reverb. Yeah.
I think saying no when no is the healthy answer. I have to really train my no.
right.
I say no all the time, multiple
Like
times.
when streaming's happening
Constantly,
and
and I say
People
no
like,
to
do this, try that,
opportunities.
yeah.
I say no to invitations. I say
Yeah.
no all the time, and every time I say it, even with really, really healthy boundaries and really, really healthy no's, I still want to say yes to everyone.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time. I want to say I want to go to everything. I want to
Sure,
be in
sure.
your. I want to promote your fundraiser. I want to. I want to do every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
one of those things. And in order to say yes to 3 times a week, all in, full out, 3 hours out of, I have to say no or not reply, not even answer. I think that's the hardest thing for me is I cannot keep up with it. I can't read it. I can't check everything. I would love to.
Yeah, you just
I
can't.
would love to, but I can't.
That's fair.
And I have to say no a lot. I have to say no constantly. Yeah.
Is
I don't know.
I know.
Oh, you do?
For you, yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
Saints.
Not letting your Siri dox you.
Oh my god, that is bad though, Kim.
When you're like asking Siri things and then it just starts answering. You're like, oh my god! That does seem to be very hard for you.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's
Yeah,
hard,
I
but
don't
it
know.
does seem to be very hard.
Something about those intrusive thoughts
You're
that
not a
are
whole
like,
problem,
hey
Brenda.
Siri, where?
You're not a whole problem.
Here's this question. And then Siri starts answering, and I'm like, oh, let me turn the volume down. But the volume was opposite. The buttons were opposite. I was hitting the down button, it was turning louder, and I was like, no! Why did I ask you where I am? Yeah,
That's funny.
I'm smart. I am smart. I just have intrusive thoughts.
You are.
Something happens between the thought and my talk hole. It's just like it's a slide.
It's a slide.
I like that we're writing down practice saying no, because for me,
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
long time, it was
Yeah.
yes to everything,
Yeah.
and I was not okay. And somebody, went and I had a mentorship session with somebody that I used to be my old boss when I was working. And she phrased it in a way that was like very helpful in that every time you say no, it's an opportunity for somebody else
Yeah.
that you're giving them.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
normally, if you're really uncomfortable starting to say no, I try to use it as an opportunity to recommend someone.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
I can't do
Yeah.
this because
Yeah.
I am literally so overwhelmed.
But here's 3 other people.
But here's people who you would love and who will probably do a way better job than me, and then
Yeah.
they've got a contract or a gig out of it. So
Yeah.
that really helped.
It also, I've always framed it as it's also saying yes to yourself for something else. Because you're going to do something, you're not just going to do nothing during that time, probably. Even if you are lying down, you're still going to do something. And it's like saying no is giving your yes to rest or giving a yes to whatever, go outside for a walk or
It's true.
whatever. And
Yeah.
we all need those things. And it's like, yeah, otherwise you fall down.
Yeah,
Don't fall down,
don't
idiots.
fall down. Boners.
Just gonna hide it in the table for a moment, just lying down.
There's no monitor down there, you can't read anything.
But there's a foot pedal we can
No, my foot's also there.
Where's
Durango.
my voice control?
I don't know what
Beam me up.
I don't know what hardest thing not to do when streaming. I don't think I have one.
I thought it was like literally on stream, and I was just like, food.
Well, no, that's what it said. It's the hardest thing not to do when
Is mine
streaming.
art?
When
is
streaming.
mine touching an art supply of any kind?
You touch crayons?
That's the easiest
I
thing
touch
for you.
crayons. I touch
That's the
crayons.
easiest thing for you to not do on stream is make
Easy
art.
peasy.
Drongo
Watch
asked
me
us what the
not
biggest
art.
lesson
I
since
asked you.
creator check-in number
Where
2 was.
everything happens
What's your
and
biggest
nothing
lesson
gets
since
done.
creator check-in number 2? Have you learned something about yourself or streaming? Drongo was asking that.
I've learned that I have the most amazing, incredible, capable community around me, and the more I'm able to like hand things over to people and say, you're incredible, thank you so much. If you need something from me, let me know. Otherwise, Neo's a great example. We have this hilarious Cupid bot that ran for Valentine's Day that we still use for other stuff.
Yeah.
Neo built that.
Yeah, for
Neo
sure.
just
There's
built
tons of good
I don't know
community
how it
folks.
works.
Yeah.
I don't know what it does. Neo and I were just talking recently about like a little scheme for some, like the way that Luke actually understands everything about how the badges work and keeping track of them, all the mods, all the org team, the trail guides that are helping the counselors develop their camp sessions, all of these people, I'm like, I could use my brain. It sucks for a lot of stuff. It's amazing at some things, and it will definitely suck at everything if it's all just me trying to be like, oh my god, is this how, so what about this, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I think especially this year for camp, you and I were talking about how much it's just, I am the tiniest, most insignificant part of Camp Chaos. I am the smallest afterthought. All of the counselors, all of the org team, all of the trail guides, all the admin, all of those people, all the campers, it all works because of you.
Yeah.
It all works because of you. The more I just sit back and let people be amazing, the better it runs.
Magic doesn't occur when people are being micromanaged.
So true. And they don't even, what am I going to tell Neo about building him a don't forget to make the bot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't
They
need
use
me.
colons
What
in
do I know?
coding, right?
You need me.
That's a thing.
It froze!
Yeah, it did.
Oh, wow.
It is now our turn to welcome. Hello, it is Dino Goblin time. Dino Goblin time. That's the perfect.
Our time is being infiltrated.
Look at what it froze on. I want you to know that's exactly the
Delightful.
face Sean is making anyway.
Yes.
It's the
Yeah,
same
and he's just making direct eye contact with us. making
prolonged
that face,
eye
yeah.
contact. Prolonged.
Yeah.
Look at
I love this.
It's really great. What have you learned since the last creator check-in? Well, the puppet is eyeballing you.
I am glad that I learned that lesson many years ago of committees are necessary to do what we do.
Truly.
Because nothing would happen without the committees and without our moderation team. I would be in shambles. I would have burnt out, like, past the point of no return years ago without all of the people in our community that step up and make it super magical. So yeah, that is I think that sometimes that's a hard lesson to learn when you start too, is that you feel like you do need to do everything. You do need to be everyone.
Yeah.
And it's also just like recognizing when you're saying how important time is, right? And that it's an incredible gift, like recognizing the amount of time and energy and creativity that all these folks are bringing. Like, I never wanted to let people help because I recognize that incredible gift of their time and creativity.
Right.
And it wasn't until, like, people were literally forcing me to, like, they're like, by the way, you probably don't want me to do this, but I already did all this for you, surprise. And I was
Which
like,
is unique for that,
thank you.
I think. I feel like you told me people will just show up.
Which
you
is-
won't understand why. And I was
Yeah,
like, I
I
don't
was like, you
understand what
won't.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden people would just come out and be like, oh, I do that
Yeah.
for people. It's already happened. It's already
Yeah.
done. Here's a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Here's a Discord.
Yeah.
Here's a, and
Yeah.
Twitch, I
I told you, I
that's
was
our
like,
little
you're gonna
rainbow
log on
land.
there.
I don't
I
know.
was like, you're gonna log on to Twitch and you're gonna
Yeah.
meet the coolest freaking people from around the world who are better at everything than you
Truly.
are. I don't know how they came in here and just decided, like I say all the time, like, I don't understand why you decided to spend so much time here. Why, like, what? But boy, are we ever lucky. And I feel blessed every single day to know all these folks. In terms of other lessons, like what I've experienced since we met last was just like ongoing health issues and the uncertainty around that. And it is, once again, kind of removing a little bit of those layers of fear of taking the time that I need to heal. There's even moments coming up, like it's summer vacation time, right? So all of my colleagues are having their few weeks that they get off of the year, and I'm still like full force working a whole bunch. And I need to take time. Like, I need to take some streams off. And so being a lot more comfortable with that than I have ever been in the past. Like, I would normally only let some kind of health crisis be a reason why I would cancel, instead of like, you know what, maybe I want to go be in the woods.
Right. But that also, I feel like some of that remember we were talking about momentum and inertia, and earlier on we were talking about that idea of like people are talking in the chat like amongst themselves. There's also that part of that health of a community, I think also is one of those indicators of like, I am not necessarily a part of every conversation by a long shot that's happening in my Discord, which means I don't have to be responsible for, I don't have to make sure, like that all is happening without us, which is amazing and means like you can take a breath, you can take a step back, and people are still kind of connected and interacting and having their own.
It was cute when you
time.
started and you wanted to read everything.
I wanted to read everything. So I still
like it's not gonna happen.
want to read everything.
I know.
So badly.
I know. And I'm still like a Discord lurker. Like I like to lurk in Discords too.
I do
Be
too.
Like, oh, okay,
I
this
do
whatever.
too.
This is what's happening.
I
Lurk
do
in
too.
my
never
own,
comment
but-
I can
people's
only be
Discords.
present in my own Discord. I can keep up with my Discord, and that's it. That is the only one that I can. And it's the same. There's so many things that I've had to just be like, okay, I'm not going to be able to keep up with. And I think it's interesting to see how people use their Discords and build their Discords and what purpose they can serve. But I can only use mine. Delegation
for
is
sure.
a thing, and once you get large enough as a creator, delegation sort of becomes a must. Yeah.
But it's
My hand was
incredible that
forced.
any of you would allow us to delegate
Oh my God.
anything, that you would show up with this level of support just out of the kindness of your heart and wanting to see more art and more music in the world. Like, you're all truly incredible people. You don't exist just everywhere.
No.
I promise. Like,
Literally nowhere else.
Nowhere.
I don't know what.
Where?
I don't know.
where
I don't know.
did you? I mean, don't dox yourselves, but
Don't-
where?
don't.
Where did you come from? Like,
How did you do this?
How?
Where is the secret bunker lab that is developing wonderful, brilliant people?
That's why I say, and we said that at the beginning of the chat too, just like anything, any of these people, like they'll step up and we won't know their names.
No.
We won't know what makes them feel alive. We won't know the things that they love and the things that make them tick. We won't know what they look or sound like. And they will go out of their way to do all of these extraordinary things for us. And that's why every time someone's willing to share just a little bit more of themselves with me, it's always a very safe space. I will never ever dox anybody. I will never ever share any personal details about anybody. But the times, sometimes people send me like little covers of my songs in secret and DMs like that means so much, because now moving forward, like I can read your comments in your face and your voice, and like to know that you, just as a stranger to stranger, showed up on the internet and decided to help a stranger who was making some stuff with like giving it all you got. We've got so many people here who created bots, who are moderators, who are on committees, who are
Built
helping
spreadsheets.
organize, who go out of their way if somebody's having a bad day just to be like, oh, well, we can chat in DMs. Like,
Who tone set in our chats all the time.
Yeah.
Who go out into every chat and act as incredible ambassadors to the communities. Like, I don't know. We are wildly lucky. And I think Neo's right that I understand how that can be selfish and altruistic. That you're like, oh, it means the streamer's happier, you're less distracted, you're more. But the way that a lot of the communities see like contributing as an act of service that they just naturally want, they instinctively want to do, that they're like, oh, you don't know for Discord, I will help you make a Discord. I want you to have a Discord. I want you to be able to, I don't know. All of that stuff blows my mind.
And that's just that when I first started, there were folks that came out of the woodwork and said, yes, we're here to help. And I also that's a good conversation, and that sometimes those folks feel pressured to continue to give beyond their means as well.
I think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
About if people feel like they can say no.
Yeah.
And I think a lot about how to ask about
Oh,
things.
we got echoes.
I feel, uh-oh.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Uh-oh.
Nope, it's all right. Keep going.
It's fine.
Echo.
We just had to reconnect the whole thing. That's all. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Everything's fine. Look, yay, troubleshooting.
Yay! Sean fixed it!
Say hi. Welcome to our guests. This is Sean. This is Kim.
Hello.
Applause.
Hi.
How big is the room?
Hi.
It's very tiny, Joe.
Echo.
It's not a big room.
Echo.
It's huge.
Fine, it's huge.
It's a big room.
Massive
I
studio.
can't even touch both walls.
No.
It's true. Anyway, what were you saying?
What the
I
biggest
just
thing that
fixed
we
the
learned?
camera. God damn
I said
it.
delegating. I
Oh,
said
good.
delegate.
Well,
We're
I wish
talking
I had
about
somebody
delegating.
And
delegate
we're
this
talking
too.
about not giving beyond your
Yeah, but
means.
look at
Very
Yeah.
funny magic. Very funny magic.
I fix
What's
them
the thing that you
Yeah,
learned,
you
Kim?
do.
We didn't. I learned delegating.
Oh shit! I thought I was
Kind
gonna
of.
get away with this.
No, you're not getting away with nothing.
Well, mine maybe might sound less thoughtful, I guess, but I have learned the importance of not like a daily to do, not doxing myself, not just like making a daily to-do list, but having an ongoing, like, this is what I have to do every week. And this is the list that I have to do every month.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I
Yes.
was just like writing a list every day. It's like, I am so overwhelmed. Like, there's so
Yeah.
much.
Sure.
And so just to
Yeah.
like make the list of, okay, here's the subcategories of like fourth wall, streaming, so whatever, this is what I have to do weekly, and this is monthly, and then I can just leave it up and use it as a, like a check
Smart.
board,
Checklist.
checklist.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like a checkboard.
Check ding.
Homework.
A thing you check.
Give yourself homework.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, I was going through notebooks like it was my job, which is nice. I like notebooks, and also I like not having to write
Right.
every single thing every time I sit down. My brain can't hold it, and I'm too stressed to.
Yeah.
It just creates stress that's unnecessary.
I've also found that having like a quarterly to-do list of like things that I would like to kind of see
yeah.
happen in the next 3 to 6 months of like the
Yeah.
bigger things, but it's not this pressure of you need to do all of this right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm good at doing that to myself.
I
I
want,
just can't read them.
me is like the like literally, even though the camera died and broke, but that always brings me joy. I'm like, oh, I want it. Like, this is a completely different setup than we've ever had in here before. It's something totally new. We ran different cables. I tried this like wireless mic thing. It seems to, nobody's complained about it, so it seems to work. You know, it's
Great.
like that's the, I'm always curious about that, because I hope in the future that more people who want to try streaming without like making their own channel can come in here and use cameras and mics, and I want to be able to be like, oh yes, well, we've done it this way, we've done it that way, like
Right.
we've hung a light here, I put the camera over there, if it gets too hot this camera dies, the internet doesn't work in this corner of the house, like whatever. That I'm always trying to learn and figure out so that I can help other people do more cool shit.
I gotta say, I love that we can see everybody very big.
It's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
really
I like
nice.
that chat
Yeah.
is
Yes.
like this. This
So
is nice.
good.
It
This has
feels
been my
like you're
favorite
another
stuff so
person
far.
at the
So.
table. Like it feels like you're all
Yeah,
at
it
the
does. It
table.
feels like that they're
They're
the head of
yeah.
the table.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're hanging
Still
out right
in
there.
charge of
Yeah.
everything, head
They're
of the
hanging out
table.
right there.
Yeah.
I do think
Feels
one
so
thing
right.
that I think you and I both probably, and you guys too, but I just know we've talked about it more of like when shit happens, you're just like, oh, well, I don't know. Like, I don't, there's no reason that camera broke. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, I literally had to go and physically shut it off, turn it back on, plug it. And it's like, that's okay. I think the more that stuff happens, the more I'm like, oh, well, that's fine. I'm sorry that that's a thing that happened. But
Yeah.
that's not what I was hoping would happen.
Yeah.
You know? But and people aren't going to be like, "Wow, this stream sucks. I hate you. I'm leaving." You know, and I'm like, "Oh, okay,
No,
that's
then
fine."
it just
Like,
becomes a Danny Brenda show, and everybody makes jokes about it, and I think that's
Yeah.
like great thing.
but even if you're by yourself too, I find it's
Yeah.
okay. Like, just it's okay. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, how
None
like,
of us know what we're doing. It's
yeah,
fine.
and it's
Yeah,
like it will
exactly.
be okay. Just come back, stay calm.
yeah.
You know, Andrea actually asked, and this is maybe we'll end on this question. I did see there
Franco,
was another
that's such a good answer.
question, but I'm going to keep that actually, Reese, for another
Franco,
time.
that's a good mindful answer.
But Andrea had asked something about like how do you bring your all to stream? How do you stay positive? That kind of sentiment.
Every minute I'm not on stream.
Yeah,
is
you're
about
working to.
making sure
Yeah,
that is how I feel when I'm on stream.
yeah,
Every single minute. How
yeah,
I eat, how I sleep, how I work out,
yeah,
how I set up the room, what I choose to put on my to-do list, the things I choose to say no to, even
Yeah.
though it is hard. Every single minute.
If there are hard, like I know just because I got a little insight, but like hard emails, hard letters.
Lots of hard emails,
it's like
lots of hard letters.
don't
lots
read
of
them.
stuff, don't look
like
at it,
set
don't do
those
it,
for
yeah.
later. You're like, I
Yeah.
know this is going to be hard. I'm not going to read that right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that till later.
Yep.
Also, look at this bunny.
Yep.
You know, and it's like
Yeah.
fill your life with like those before you go on,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, holy shit, I got to deal with this thing. Okay, stream starting.
Yeah.
I also think
Yeah.
sometimes people force themselves to try to enjoy streaming. And sometimes as
Yes.
a creator,
Yeah.
yes, you could love streaming, it could be part of what you do. But if you genuinely don't like it,
Yeah.
there's so many other things you can be doing too.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we'll have friends that will kind of really try to get in this headspace where they're already anxious about it. They already don't really like it.
Yeah.
And so I can have lots of days where I go live and I've had a terrible day.
Sure.
Or I'm in enormous amounts of pain and I've popped painkillers just to be able to stand there. Don't recommend, don't do it. I'm trying to be better about not. Doesn't
Do
make
drugs.
singing easy. But I will literally force myself to do it sometimes. But the second that everybody's there in the chat, even if it is the first 5 people that are just there in the chat, I immediately feel joy.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is my
Right.
happy
Yeah.
place.
tells
you a
lot.
Definitely.
So it's easy to kind of turn around some of those other negative feelings or things that I'm going through. I know, Drongo, I'm trying to be better. Kim's teaching me. And you have to also enjoy it. But I mean, there can also be times where, streaming can be stressful,
Yeah,
or you're
for sure.
anxious, and just got to find ways to enjoy it. But there's people who genuinely do not enjoy being on camera and
for sure.
do not enjoy stream and
Don't-
just forcing
don't do
yourself
it.
to keep doing
Don't-
that
don't
over
do
and
it.
over and
Stop
over
it.
again. Sometimes I find people in the community like really pressuring other people in the community. Well, you should be streaming. You should do this,
Yeah.
that, and the other thing. And if
Yeah.
it's not for someone.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not
Exactly.
for everybody, and it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah.
Nothing has to be.
Yeah.
about
I think
you?
relentless rest, I say, looking across the table. Relentless rest, daily meditation,
Not while you're on stream.
so much journaling.
Feel personally attacked.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I don't know
Yes.
why. That's weird.
You should, yeah.
So bizarre. Yeah, and I think like because I spend so much time, I mean, my yoga practice is pretty in depth. I think because I spend so much time trying to peel the layers of who I'm not, I really get to know who I am, who is
Truly.
different every day. And every day it means that I get to like bring this new version of me that it's hard not to be in love with the newest version, right? It's the queen.
Yeah, the queen! Oh, it's the newest version, the queen!
Wow!
Oh, very good. Yeah, it's hard. On the other, the princess, that bitch is dead. Long live the new queen!
Long live the queen!
At least for the next 10 hours or so until another one comes. Holy shit.
Do you want to tell them a
What a
spot
good
to
answer.
put questions we didn't get to for next round?
Oh yeah, you can definitely throw. I mean, I'm writing them down,
Okay.
but you can also drop them in the Discord
Yeah,
if you
'cause we
want.
won't be
You can
able to
always
get to
drop anything in the
everything.
Discord, or usually you'll find it on the Instagram. Usually I pop up a little section that says "Ask me questions" on the Do More Cool Shit Instagram. Also, I did want to. Yeah, Quim.
It's the queen!
If you missed episode 1 or 2, or if you want to rewatch any part of this, they're all on YouTube, on the Do More Cool Shit YouTube. So the whole VODs are there, and then eventually we'll get to cutting up some pieces, but it's there.
Sweet.
Yeah. Also,
Hey.
you can listen to the podcast all the time.
You should. It's
Yes.
great to be yelled at
podcast
and
is
actually very
excellent.
motivating. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really great.
Who's listened to the most recent DMCS podcast episode? Me. It's really
Me,
good.
I did. I
It's really
did.
good.
I don't stay positive on stream. What are you talking about? I'm so mad when I get on stream. I'm so angry.
No. No.
Yes.
That was a good one. Liz was excellent.
That was a good one.
Hey, thanks
Hey.
for having this.
Thank
Well,
you.
not done yet.
I-
Not done yet. We have a chat says darndest thing we got
Oh,
to.
right.
Okay.
All right.
Chat says darndest thing. Who's got one?
Everything
Chat says darndest thing.
Just the whole entire time. It's your fault that, listen, I've loved on you for this entire time, and now it's time to be like, you are the reason that I don't make any sense, because all of the sentences are absurd and unintelligible.
Well, you're talking to chat.
I was like, you're laying this on him like really heavily.
What
are not going for
what
coffee
they want a
tomorrow.
catamaran canoe and a double decker canoe, and the Franix is a situation, and the Franix annexes. That is unintelligible to anyone else. The lore is so deep and so absurd and so ridiculous, and I want a meeting with the Ombudsman Council. Also, exclamation mark enter, exclamation mark enter, exclamation mark enter.
Forever and always.
You confuse me, oh dear. None of you are new. None of you, all of that's lies. None of you are new. I will flip this table. The most recent absurd thing that Chad has said is that they want a double-decker chaos canoe because there are too many people in the chaos canoe crew, and they were supposed to be in there taking peaceful lake laps around the lake to avoid potato peeling duty.
Very
But
good.
hear me out. Remember the
Normal
Lego movie
sense.
when the double couch ended up saving the day?
Yeah.
Oh, Kim, I can't make
You never
them a
know.
double-decker
Could happen.
canoe.
You never know.
Could happen.
Not
Yeah.
making you a bunk canoe. You're not new.
What's the chat says darndest thing?
Well, I mean, if we're going on that like
Yeah.
vein of conversation,
totally.
then we just have like a honey badger gang that's developed for some reason.
Sweet.
And they
Love it.
host brunch
Love it.
outside of the
Awesome.
basement with the
Awesome.
Dinosaur Alliance. I don't.
Chat says darndest
I
thing.
logged on to the internet to play music. I don't know.
And now there's
we got
badgers.
Now there's badgers.
Weird. I think people are making me snark myself now.
Yeah, a lot.
This
yeah.
has become the new
Are you
thing.
gonna deal with that, or are you
That
just
is
gonna let
pretty
that
funny.
happen?
Yeah. That is
I
pretty
mean,
funny.
I think I'm a queen. I deserve some snark. You know, I could be taken down
Wow.
a peg or two.
Yeah,
Also,
probably.
have you heard my snark? I'm so nice to people when I'm being mean. I'm just
really
saying
kind
nice
snark.
things to myself in an angry voice. It's confusing, but I like that.
That's true. She does snark
Andrea.
herself the whole time.
I
That's
do,
true.
Andrea.
Even when she doesn't mean to, she does.
That's
Someone told me that they were going to bring their grandmother on Fortnite, and that their grandmother was going to shoot me dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
brutal.
specific.
See, look, the art and music categories very different from the game categories.
I might have been because I might have said that I wanted to shoot all their grandmothers. So.
Wow. Okay.
Because I
whose-
did.
Whose fault is this? Then?
I'm not saying it's anybody's
Chad
fault. I'm
said
just
the
saying
darndest thing?
Chad said the
That
darndest
out.
thing. That's all. That's all I'm saying. There was a player in there that
Good.
said granny,
Good.
and I was like,
Yeah.
bring me your grannies,
Wow.
and then they said they were gonna get their grandma. Come on and shoot me
I
in the
really
face.
need a follow-up episode where their grandmother is really there in Fortnite.
my God.
though.
They might be.
That would be delightful.
could be.
Chad says
I remember
the
that, yeah.
darndest thing.
There it is. Oh my goodness. Well, it's like if you ever wanted to talk genuinely in this segment about like things that you do deal with when people come through your chats. So the other day, Sean.
This close to getting banned.
Excellent job. Excellent
This
job.
close to getting banned.
Wow.
So close.
Every
Franco
time.
got timed out once.
Every time.
Do it
It
again
was probably
too.
a riot. Yeah.
Sounds fan segment is chat says darndest thing, not streaming. Yeah, that's right. That's
Yes.
right, Franco. Thank you
Fine.
Yes.
for doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to end it there.
Thank
That's
you.
going to be the end of our
Thanks,
creator
Laura.
check-in number 3.
This was so
Another
fun.
creator check-in.
Another
It's
creator
great.
check-in.
We cried again. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Love a good cry.
Every time.
Appreciate you guys for coming in. Always a
Every
good
freaking
time. I did want to check in real quick because you guys are all doing some cool stuff, and you know, how was Blues Fest?
It was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome,
It was
eh?
a dream come true.
Yeah.
I'd done it many years ago.
Yeah,
but I said after this one that I don't think I'd had a day where I got to appreciate it so much. Like when
Yeah,
you're doing
nice.
major festivals and a lot of my bigger shows, it's been like on my back to organize. It's been on my back to do everything. And it felt like we had a really great team. It felt like I was the most organized that I've been. Like I really got to enjoy it as a big scary show. But we
Right.
did so much
Mm.
rehearsal leading up to it.
Yeah.
The band was so unbelievably good. So it was a really great day. I had so much fun. And I'm always thinking, oh, this little thing called Patreon.
Where can people
Yeah.
see behind the scenes
Where do people
if
find
they
that?
didn't get to go?
Which is why I feel like I also got to enjoy it, and I really had decided, and we've talked so much about like what it's like being an Ottawa musician, and it's like it's never like anything that I'm experiencing right now because I got to enjoy this, and I got to have the gear that I needed. It wasn't like me making do with whatever I had around the house and things breaking down while we're in sound check, and like this has always been my situation. So I posted so much behind the scenes there because like I would not have applied. I would not have a band right now. I would not have the album and the video series we made. Like I would not be doing any of this because I'd given up on this before 2020. 2018, I was like, cool, I wrote some songs. I'm releasing them. I'm done.
Right.
Like, this is a lot of work, and I'm just gonna hang out and do some charity gigs, and I'm still seeing you guys around. And that was going to be what I was doing with music.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thanks to Sean for yelling at me for an entire year. Just Sean testimonials like, so Sean yelled at me, and now I have a Patreon.
That's fair.
So thank you.
That's the story for so many people. So many people. Once upon
Still a bunch of
time,
yelling.
Sean
Just
yelled
yell
at
at
me.
people.
And
It
now
works somehow. It
yeah.
seems to work.
Yeah. So it was a wonderful day. We had
Thank
so
you,
many
Andrea.
rehearsals leading up, and
Yeah,
Patreon
that's awesome.
made so much of that possible. So
And you can still see a bunch of those videos on Patreon.
yeah.
Not
And we're
even
gonna be
expensive.
slow releasing some secret band tapes as well there.
Nice.
You did a good job of taking some of those. There's some fun stuff. You did a good job of using that for.
It was very, very fun. And it feels like a little gift right now that I get. It's like, whenever I'm taking photos now, it's not, let's take a bunch of photos from my Instagram that no one cares about.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm taking these deliberately with
Right.
these people
Right,
in
right,
mind.
right.
They are going to be excited to see it, so I'm
Nice,
excited
Dad.
to take them. Because I
Yeah.
hate taking
Yeah.
pictures of myself.
That's
so.
fun.
You moved and you had an in-person workshop.
I moved. I had an in-person
That was
You had an
workshop.
in-person workshop. How'd that go?
It went really well. It went awesome. Everybody dove right in. They were super into it.
That's so cool.
Somebody came to the stream from the workshop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, which I was
That's
like,
cool.
Wow.
oh, this is going to be a different scene.
Yeah.
How do I
You came, you did this nice little workshop, and then
Yes, very much so.
This
yeah.
person even came into the stream and was like, I just came because I liked your energy so much. Was like, okay, well,
Prepare yourself for different energy.
And you're like, uh-oh.
that thing
not
will be
ready.
different, I
Different
guess.
energy over here.
It literally
Yeah.
made Kim freeze for a moment.
Oh my god, my bladder's full, Andrew. You're going to make me pee my pants.
Oh, and you were like, would that happen? You were like,
Yeah. I was pretty
I could see
excited,
that.
and then also was like, oh shit. Oh no. Okay. Well, we're in it now. Here we go. And they stuck around for a while. They chatted. I thought that they were long gone.
Yeah,
I wouldn't blame them, but they came
Yeah.
back and
That's
chatted a
great.
bit. So, yeah, must be good. I moved. I'm like in the middle of trying to figure out the stream setup.
yep.
We've got some ideas for moving things around, and it'll be good.
So fun.
Yeah,
It's time.
it's fun.
It's a
I
good
like all that.
exciting time,
Yeah, that's me.
And Camp Chaos,
Camp Chaos.
how's it going? We're midway through now, or
It's
like almost midway
awesome.
through.
Everyone's so awesome. I don't know. We're halfway through. Just about after Sunday
Yeah.
will be the halfway mark. And it's incredible, and people have been so remarkable, and all of the pre-work, I guess, seems
Yeah.
like it's working well, which makes me really happy.
Shut up, Leo.
2 more weeks and I can sleep. Yeah, Joe, same. It's a good test in how to handle FOMO, but I absolutely love Camp Chaos.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Camp Chaos, and I love how many people have showed up to play and showed up for each other, and the way that Camp Chaos counselors are just continuously rating each other and like bringing communities into camp sessions and meeting new people. And there's people that are like, I'm just following along with Camp Chaos. I'm
Yeah,
meeting all these
yeah.
new people. I'm following all these new or I was talking before about people being like, oh my gosh, I felt like I hadn't found my people, and all of a sudden there's all these very diverse different streamers. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and I am so grateful. And again, it runs the way that it runs because
And there's still more goodies to
Smallest-
come.
smallest part of it. That's how it
Yeah,
works.
and there's
Oh,
still
yeah,
more
there's
goodies,
tons.
which are awesome. I've seen them all.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff
Nerds.
going on. There's tons of stuff. Tons of stuff. But it's wonderful, and I'm very, very, very grateful. Very grateful.
It's good.
Yeah. Whole
I-
schedule's on Discord. It's
Yeah,
packed.
go follow it. Go check it
Packed.
out.
There's the likes of like Kimmaginaryfriend and
Oh my
Danielleallard
God,
sessions.
Still
Can you
sessions to come.
imagine?
Oh my
Can you
God.
imagine? They're
So
both
good.
on the lineup.
We're gonna light everything on fire.
Crazy.
I'm this
There's gonna be marshmallows.
Wednesday.
Come on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yay.
Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is next big things? I mean, you're still doing Camp Chaos.
I
Is there
the
any
only thing
other
my
next
brain
big
is
things
camp.
coming
That's all I
up
got.
for you
It's my
guys?
whole
Do you
brain.
want to plug? You got to plug anything? You got anything
I'm
to
going to
plug?
be doing an online collage workshop pretty soon, journaling and collage.
nice.
We're going to do it on Discord, so you should join my Discord too, because
Nice.
it's weird.
That's gonna be so good.
Nice.
Yeah, it is going to be really fun.
So good.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
Cool.
Camp Chaos coming up.
You're going to be on Camp
We did
Chaos.
that
Yeah.
Last Sunday.
Yeah, you're the
month.
final.
Yeah.
You're the
Nice.
final Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week. Yeah.
We're gonna have our
Little
Dinosaur
Dino
Stream
Sunday.
Fest coming up soon, so
Nice.
signups are going to launch for that. We feature 30 streamers from the community in 16 hours of complete and utter chaos.
Yeah.
Feels
one?
nice.
When's the next
It's gonna
one?
be in
Yeah.
August.
In
August.
Yeah,
Nice.
so stay tuned.
That's
Many
awesome.
announcements.
That's awesome.
And otherwise, it's just keeping up with streams.
Yeah.
If you ever want to check them out, I'm sure you can find us all on Sean's Discord at the very least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you will. Yeah.
Exactly.
And also on
Exactly.
Kim's Discord.
Yeah.
Aw,
We have to
Andrea's
rate-
doing all the dropping.
Andrea, you're so
Andrea's doing all the
good.
things.
Greatest mod.
Andrea's
Yeah.
just so good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Andrea, you're the
She is
best.
the VIP here.
Yeah, I'm not
We
surprised.
only got one VIP and it's
Yeah.
her.
She's pretty
Nerds.
Oh, and
amazing.
if you want to come to the first Canadian Fight Club session, we're playing Multiverses tomorrow.
Oh, there you
On
go.
Discord.
There's gonna be a lot of blood, I heard.
Every Sunday we have dinner and there's blood.
It's gonna be a lot of
Andrea's
blood,
gonna
apparently.
teach everyone to fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It'll be great.
Andrea's Fight Club.
I got podcasts coming up every second Monday. Always new podcasts. Go listen to them. Go do shit. Let me know what you're doing so I can help. And we only have one more episode left of the road to 100 because we only have 152, and I'm going to get them on Tuesday. And that'll be it. It'll be all done.
All
Nice.
done.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yes, you can go follow domorecoolshit.com. That's where all the things are. You'll see all the things there.
Hi, Chad.
Hi, Chad. Popping in
Urs
here.
just laughing.
Yeah,
at
one
you.
more episode. That's it.
Just
on
one more.
Tuesday at
One
10
more.
a.m. That'll be it.
Just one more.
He's gonna get 100 on this last
We are
one.
going to do one more creator check-in at some point. Not
Sweet.
sure when, but we'll do one before the end of the
Don't know what
year.
next one is.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
And other than that, have a great rest of your Saturday.
Have a nice
Thanks for
quarter.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.
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 Oh, we're gonna raid.
Wait,
We're gonna raid. Yeah, we're gonna raid. And we know we're gonna raid. Yeah, we're gonna raid.
Oh,
We know we're
nice.
gonna raid.
Amazing.
Because we know, yeah, and we even have raid calls here and everything.
Wow.
Look out.
Raid calls.
Yeah, we got raid calls. We
This
got
place is
2
so
whole raid
pro.
calls.
I know, right? Isn't
Wow.
it wild?
Yeah.
Forgot all about
It's
that.
wild.
But we know where we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go right back into cartoon
think
therapy and
that's
see
really
where
cool.
he's
yeah,
going.
Nice.
Yay!
We're gonna go see if he's done 100
He's
cats yet.
Almost
Sweet,
at
sweet,
10 hours and he is coming unglued visibly. It's amazing. You want to watch a mind unravel?
Yeah,
This
it's a
is
good
the
time. It's a
amazing.
great time.
It's really funny. He's covered in pipe cleaners and despair. It's great. Perfect. It's great.
Good.
Yeah, it's really good.
See
It's
y'all
really, really good.
later.
Bye,
Bye. Thanks for coming in.
Bye.
See y'all later. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye.